Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you guys so much for joining me back here on the Cross Unit on today's edition of the Tao with Dissection. I believe we're on episode 72, man, and it has been a very interesting couple of days since our last stream. We actually had a video premiere this past Saturday where I uploaded my conversation with the Dawa Dud known as the Muslim Apologetic. He literally ripped my entire video. Interestingly, he ripped my entire video and re-uploaded it as his own and zoomed in on me a little bit, then cropped himself in, making it seem like it was his recording, which is fine. It is what it is. But yeah, if you think I got baked so bad, yeah, let's see what the consensus is on that. I actually put something out on myself, and I said, did I concede? Because I know that from the Muslim worldview, you guys actually think Muhammad is a prophet, so it doesn't surprise me that you think that I got baked. I actually think that's funny. So let's see here what the actually, let's start the other stream here real quick. But yeah, you can say that and laugh in the comment section because you're not gonna have the balls to call into the chat anyway. At least he had the balls to call into the show. Multi-guest requests over here already. I see you guys here. Let me do the intro prayer, and West Side Baby will be first. And then Salah, Andy Joseph. Yeah, give me, I will get to you guys, all right? Oh, man. Okay, out of 50, I put this out 3 hours ago. Let's go ahead and get to the solo screens here. Yeah, I put this out 3 hours ago. Well, guys, I can't wait to see the results of this one. A Muslim channel recently reposted my video with his intro in front of it and claims that he buried the Islamic dilemma in his debate with me. He claims that within the first few minutes of the conversation, I apparently conceded the Islamic dilemma. So if you have not watched the video, the link is below. Please check it out. Listen to the entire conversation, share it and like it, please. Then tell me below, did you hear a concession, or are we listening to another desperate attempt to dress up intellectual deficiency as Muslim apologetics? And here's a link to the video, and then that was it. Out of 51 votes so far, 82% of people says Maverick did not concede. 12% of people say Maverick conceded. 6% of people say they weren't sure. So 88% of people did not hear a concession. And I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say that the 12% are the people who are either Muslims or are, probably this kid and the people that he follows. So, yeah, so far it's not looking good, Muslims, because people actually watched the video. And out of only 51 votes, only 12%, which is probably what, 1, 2, 3 people maybe, think that they heard a concession, which I think is hilarious. But let's go ahead and get into today's verse of the day from Proverbs chapter 10, verse 9. The man of integrity walks securely, but he who takes crooked paths will be found out. Thoughts on today's verse. Tell the truth the first time, and then you won't have to remember what you said. That's a quote attributed to the famous speaker of the United States of America House of Representatives, Sam Rayburn. That's basically what God's wisdom is trying to teach us in this passage. Be a person of integrity. Then when someone finds out your secrets, you can feel secure knowing that you have lived for godliness. However, a perverse and deceitful person has to worry that someone will find out their duplicity and their evil. There is no security or assurance in crooked paths, only the certainty of getting tripped up and caught. When the secrets of evil have been whispered in dark places and get shouted from the rooftops, like in Luke 12, verse 3. Those who have lived for the Lord can be secure, knowing that what gets shouted about them is said with the voice of God. Well done, good and faithful servant, from Matthew 25, 21, and 23. Here's a prayer, guys. Let's go ahead and pray together for those who want to pray. Please forgive me, dear Father, for those times that I have been secretive, sinful, and dishonest. Purify me of deceit. Help me speak only what is true, appropriate, and helpful. Transform my evil secrets through your holy grace into a character that is consistent in both public and private situations. In Jesus' name, I ask for your help to grow in the grace of eternity. Amen. Okay, we got super chat already right off the bat. Thank you for Kyrios philosophy. Read my comment in your post, brother. You baked this Muslim. Thank you. Yeah, let me see. Let's see what you said. I didn't look at the comments so far. Let's go by newest first, I'm assuming. Oh, here he is. These Muslims in the comments and the Muslim apologetic think you conceded the argument. But here's the crucial point. It is irrelevant what the author of the Quran personally believed, which I said to him many times. What truly matters is what he wrote and presented to his Arabian audience. Again, agreed, I made it clear right after that I didn't concede a thing. Saying, yes, it's possible that the writer of the Quran didn't agree with the crucifixion is not a concession of the Islamic dilemma. But when you're intellectually deficient, those are the types of antics that you resort to because you have no choice. Your own prophet shot you in the foot with the idiotic book known as the Quran, right? Take an analogy. A politician may not actually believe in a slogan, but he can still proclaim it publicly if it helps him gain support, authority, or influence. Likewise, even if the author of the Quran believed that the Bible was not entirely true, the text he produced affirms its authority in ways that contradict such a private belief. And as a matter of fact, let me open up today's debate brief because I did want to share with you guys that today anybody calling in is going to have to explain why Muhammad was told speak to the people who are reading the book before you, because there are several lines of evidence and source material that shows that the Bible that was in existence in Muhammad's time is exactly the same one that we have today. And that's verifiable through everything that we have here. So the debate brief's in the Discord for those who want to go ahead and retrieve it. Why would he do this? Because there are strong motivations. By affirming the Jewish and Christian scriptures, he could more effectively persuade their communities and establish authority over them. According to the Quran itself and the Hadith, Muhammad debated Jews about religious matters. If he had told them your scriptures are only partially true, it would have been a weak attempt at persuasion. Instead, by declaring your scriptures are true, they carry authority and you must obey them. He secured a more convincing position. Thus, the key issue is not whether Muhammad inwardly believed all of the Bible, but that he strategically affirmed it in writing. The Muslim presupposes that Muhammad could not have been deceptive, but always taught only what he believed. That presupposition is exactly what needs to be questioned, which is exactly true. And 100%, I couldn't agree with you more. But again, you got to remember that we're talking about, when you're talking about a group of people who are used to, the entire foundation of their apologetics system is based in deceit, right? It is based in deceit. It is based in lies. So when you say things like, oh, you conceded the dilemma, you have to remember that this guy has a bunch of mindless seals clapping for him, pretty much affirming whatever he says, absent any intellect, absent any actual evidence. But if a Dawadud says it, they repeat it. It doesn't matter if it's true. They're not going to go ahead and verify it. They're not going to study the history for themselves. They're not going to actually look at the structure of any argument. They're just going to say it because he said it, right? The dude literally took my entire video, downloaded it, and then reposted it, put his intro in front of it, and cropped it a little bit. And that's the only reason he's getting views on it right now, because it's my video. Because looking at the rest of his videos, he don't get views, right? So yeah, I don't succumb to that kind of, oh, well, it looks like West Side Baby is the only one still here. Anybody who wants to call in from YouTube, especially lowest ranking Muslims is back. Yeah, right, a Muslim. We've already spoken time and again that 279 is not talking about the books being corrupted, because the actual existing manuscripts being corrupted, because there was already tens of thousands by then, and they had spread out across 3 different continents. How could you corrupt every single manuscript without anybody noticing? Well, I can't read your name, the one who keeps calling me names in chat. But if you think that you have what it takes to have that discussion, crossunit.net/call. I know it's hard for you to take off your hijab and stop hiding in the comment section like a female, like you guys like to do. You like to hide in my comment section, and you like to hide in my Discord. But at the end of the day, a real man could come, grow some balls and call into the show. But you're not going to do that because you don't have what it takes to do it. So you can think that if you want, but at the end of the day, it's because you guys believe Dawa duds, Dawa dingbats, and whatever they say, and you probably can't read, so you can't look up what they're saying anyway. West Side, you there?
Yes, sir.
What's going on, man? How can I help you? Are you a Muslim?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So, do you see the topic?
Islam's lies are getting exposed. Huh?
Yeah.
That's the topic?
Yeah.
So what's getting exposed exactly?
Any number of things. We can talk about the Islamic dilemma. We can talk about Muhammad not being a prophet. We can talk about the fact that you guys willingly sweep the things that he's done under the rug. We can sit there and talk about the fact that your apologetics are based in lies. I mean, you can pick one here. I'll pick one for you. Why does the Quran say for Muhammad, if he doubts, to consult the people of the book who were reading the book before him if it's not affirming the Bible?
Sure. Yeah, of course. So in regards to, you're talking about 1094?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it says if you are in doubt, go to the people before you.
It says go to the people who've been reading the book before you.
Go to the people. So have you read the tafsir on that verse? What that means?
Yeah.
What is it?
Brother, you're not here to question me. I'm asking you why it says it. I'm not asking you about the tafsir or anything else.
I'll educate you.
It's very, and I'm not, you can't, here's the thing. You can't educate me. I'm asking you why it says that, right?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay,
So
but I'm asking you to explain it without trying to appeal to someone else's authorities, because I've read the tafsirs. That's fine. We're just looking at what other people said it to be. And the earliest Muslim scholars have made it clear that the Bible that was in existence back then was the Bible that we have now, which is why I have an entire debate brief up here that shows that.
Which early Muslim scholar said that?
Okay, I'm going to ask you the question one more time, because this is what you guys do. No, I have an answer to it, but I'm asking you a simple question, okay? And your tactics are not going to work here. It might work somewhere else, but it's not going to work here.
I don't have tactics.
So I'm going to ask you one last time. Why does your book that you consider holy tell Muhammad to ask the people who've been reading the book before him? It's not a difficult question.
Oh, it's easy. Very easy. Because they're going to find him. They're going to find him in the book.
In the Bible?
Show you where he is?
Sure.
Yeah, he's there by name. Would you like that?
Yeah, go ahead.
If I show you him by name, will you convert today on the spot?
Hell no, because you ain't gonna find it. You're gonna think you find something.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, I can put it on the screen, right?
Sure.
Okay. I want to see how you're gonna get out of this one.
Easily, the way that people have for 1,400 years.
Well, let's see.
Okay. Oh, you will.
So. Okay. What language did Jesus speak? Do you remember?
Aramaic, Hebrew, and Greek.
Perfect. To his apostles, though, he would have spoke what language?
Brother, likely? I asked you a question. Answer the question.
Well, it's gonna help me with when I.
You're not gonna build a narrative here. Answer the damn question.
I'm not gonna build a narrative. I'm presenting my case.
You're not presenting anything. Yeah. Go ahead. Read what you gotta read.
To present their case.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Can you give me the big screen, or how can I?
Just read what you gotta read. It don't matter. I'll bring it up if you want me to.
Okay, yeah. So here we have a 5th century manuscript of the New Testament, the book of John, okay? And in John 15:26, in Aramaic, it says that Jesus will ask the Father to send the Manhamana, which is Muhammad. Why is Jesus saying in his language he'll send Muhammad? Can you answer that for us and your 18 viewers here?
If you don't like the amount of viewers, you can leave, because I got 18 viewers on here. No. You don't know anything about the thousands that I have on YouTube. So nice try.
Can you answer for the 1,018 viewers then? Why Muhammad is in the New Testament?
Yes,
why
because what you're presenting is one of the laziest, most idiotic, sloppiest arguments that Muslims keep repeating. So I'm going to explain to you how. Yeah. It falls apart literally as soon as you look at actual manuscript evidence. Okay. So first of all, there is no Manhattan, right? In any Aramaic or okay, there is no Manhamana, right?
It's on the screen.
Yeah, I don't know. Where are you showing that from?
Yeah, this is a 5th century manuscript. It's from the Syriac lectionary.
According to what you're showing.
In Mount Sinai.
Okay, so according to actual apologetics, right? There's nothing in any Syriac. Dude, shut your mouth long enough to hear an answer. Okay, this is exactly why people are laughing. This is exactly why you guys are getting run out of debates.
Right now, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm laughing at you. I'm laughing at you and your weird little profile. This is. Ladies and gentlemen, when you say that this guy, first of all, you try to argue that the Bible is corrupted. Then you're lying and saying that Jesus was, or that Muhammad was spoken about by Jesus, right? There is no Aramaic or Syriac copy of John 20, verse 6. So wherever he got that from, It just goes to show how desperately deceitful these clowns are. I don't understand. As a matter of fact, here, let me do myself a favor here, because I've been wondering why Nick and them have been doing this, and I didn't understand it myself. But I'm gonna do myself a favor here for a second. Oh, you know what? I didn't even refresh the Give me a second, guys. Idiotic Muslim telling me about 18 viewers. He probably doesn't even have 18 followers. Yeah, so here's the thing, Westside. You're presenting a forgery and saying that it's a Syriac or it's Aramaic of John 26 when there is no Syriac or Aramaic manuscript of John 20 verse 6. I know he's a failed rapper. I know he is. I know he is, Chris. I've seen him before. He's pathetic on a lot of fronts. It's sad. And I'm gonna tell you guys right now, this garbage that you try to do, especially to other Christians, where you think that constantly interjecting your idiotic little I don't tolerate it, right? I'm not gonna tolerate it for some beta male on the internet who thinks that he's just gonna say whatever he wants to say whenever he wants to say it. It's pathetic already. Let me go down. I'm fixing something real quick on stream, guys, for the chat. Customization. Here we go. Save. All right, that was for that one. And that's what we're going to do from now on. I had been wondering why pretty much every other apologetic channel had been doing this. I see the super chat. Burmy, give me a second. I'm fixing something here. I got to go into the customization and go. Oh, here we go. Because I'm gonna make you earn it if you're gonna say something in here. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's exactly what you are, Westside of Beta. Here, let's check. I wonder. 431 followers. Excellent. Excellent. I like that. I like that. This is the guy. Check this out. This is the guy who thinks that he is in here doing something. What's this? No bio yet. No nothing. West Side Baby with 4 B's. A supposed grown man calling himself a baby. Interesting. Yeah. CIA spy. Let's see. Let me see something. I'm bringing up the next guest in a second, guys. Give me a second. Oh my God, look at this fool. Look. I brought it up right here. I have it on screen for you guys because I knew it. Look, I want you, if you're on TikTok, you can't see the screen because I'm tired of TikTok censoring my stuff. I said, look, just because I wanted to be transparent, is there an Aramaic, and you guys can see it on YouTube, not TikTok. If you want to see it from TikTok, jump over to YouTube. Is there an Aramaic or Syriac manuscript from John 20 verse 6 that talks about Muhammad? The first thing that pops up on Google, no, there is no Aramaic Syriac manuscript of John 20 verse 6 that talks about Muhammad. That idea is based on misinterpretations and later Islamic apologetics, not ancient texts. $15.26, he says, huh? No! You idiot! No, there is no Aramaic or Syriac manuscripts of John 15:26 that mentions Muhammad. That idea stems from a later interpretation. But look, now he's saying Pastor Google, because that's the thing with Muslims. The first thing they do is they will accuse you of being deceitful. And then when you show the world their deceit, what do? They accuse you of using Google and using ChatGPT, because anything that disagrees with them, they try to discredit the way that you find information because they don't want their narrative to be exposed. Islam's lies are getting exposed. So here, ladies and gentlemen, again, real big on screen for you. No, there is no Aramaic or Syriac manuscript of John 15:26 that mentions Muhammad. Right here, look at the parcelet and the Islamic claim. The original meaning in the Gospel of John, Jesus refers to a parcelet whom he will send after his departure to help and guide his followers. The New Testament identifies this figure as the Holy Spirit. Ahmed versus the parcelet. Muslim apologists have argued that Parakletos was originally Periklutos, meaning praised one, and that it refers to Muhammad, whose name translates to praised one in Arabic. However, this is based on later interpretation and not on any ancient textual evidence. West Side, do me a favor, man. Go back to where you came from, brother. Look, I'm leaving this up. I'm leaving this up just because you thought that I wasn't going to expose your lies. And you know why I booted you? Because there's nothing that I hate more than a clown who thinks that he's going to come up on my channel and that he's going to continuously interrupt me and continuously talk over me because he doesn't want his lies, his Islamic lies, to be exposed. It's pathetic. Stop it. Stop it. Sit down somewhere, man. Thank you so much, Burmy Gamer, for your donation, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Absolutely asinine, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely asinine. I don't understand. I don't understand. It's like you guys act like because you heard something somewhere and you thought it sounded good, you guys thought that we weren't going to look it up and expose it. I'm going to do it again. Every time you guys lie, I'm going to show the world that there's no one that actually agrees with you except for you guys. Don't mean he lied. Look at CIA spy. Look at CIA spy. Doesn't mean he lied. It's his evidence. Nothing wrong with it. CIA, you just said that he cooked me. I'm going to go back and find it. CIA came up and said, so using Google is okay, but not for Islam. Hello. You guys are, he showed me something that he didn't even want to show me where he got it from. When I asked the World Wide Web on Google, which is where people find their information, the internet, right? It said that the very first thing that he said was a huge lie. Both verses that I thought he was talking about, and they both said, and he said that it was an Aramaic and Syriac or Syriac manuscript of John 15:26 that mentions Muhammad. How idiotic do you think Christians are? Ain't nobody scared, Westside. You're the one who got, dude, you literally got exposed instantly. I cannot wait to upload it. This is your mind on Islam, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you expose their lies. They say that you're worked up. They say that you're mad. They say that you're emotional because they're not used to people getting in their face like that. It's time to take the gloves off, man. It is what it is. No violence, just intelligence. And you see how quickly they shut down. Yeah, exactly, Christian Table Talk. I got a bunch of other people. Crossing.net/call if you guys want to call into the show. Magneto, who's the one? Yeah, Westside, I caught you in the lie, bro. I literally have no respect for you anymore. All right, yep. Magneto is in here taking time from battling the X-Men to speak to me. Thank you for calling into the show, brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I heard you were trying to argue 1094.
Mm-hmm. Are you a Muslim?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a Muslim.
All right. So why does 10 here? Let me bring it up. I'm going to go to Quran.com and I'm going to read it exactly for the audience. All right. 1094, which is, I believe, the Yunus, correct? Yunus.
Yeah. Have you read like that chapter, by the way? Have you read like the previous verses?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I read the previous verses. I don't read things out of context. If you've been here long enough or you know me, my thing is, it infuriates me when people deceptively try to read Bible verses out of context and outside of the socio-historical context and only read the words and try to make it seem what they say is what it is.
Okay, so what's it about?
So I'm going to read it. I'll read a couple verses before. All right. Now,
Do you
right
know what
here.
it's about, though?
Can I talk about? If you're gonna say that it's only about the Jews, then don't even bother trying to lie. Thank you so much. Okay, yeah, I do, and I'm gonna read it again. All right, stop. Listen. I know how you guys are used to doing things, but you guys need to stop talking every third or fourth word when someone's into. I don't know why you guys do that, but it's infuriating. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So, verse 1090, we brought the children of Israel across the sea. Then Pharaoh and his soldiers pursued them unjustly and oppressively. But Pharaoh was drowning. He cried out, I believe that there is no God except that in whom the children of Israel believe. And I am now one of those who submit. So according to 1090, the Pharaoh, while he was dying, started believing in Yahweh, according to 1090. 1091 says, he was told, now you believe, but you always disobeyed and were one of the corrupters. Okay. 1092 says, today we will preserve your corpse so that you may become an example for those who come after you. And surely most people are heedless of our examples. 1093, indeed, we settled the children of Israel in a blessed land and granted them good, lawful provisions. They did not differ until knowledge came to them. Surely your Lord will judge between them on the day of judgment regarding their differences. 1094, if you, O prophet, are in doubt about these stories that we have revealed to you, then ask those who read the scripture before you. The truth has certainly come to you from your Lord. So do not be one of those who doubt. All right. So now the question is, and I also do have this, it's in my Discord. I know you guys can't see it on TikTok, but the reason it is not on TikTok, ladies and gentlemen, is because whenever I screen share pretty much anything on TikTok, my live streams get restricted and they say that there's unoriginal content or whatever. So if you guys want to see everything, go over to YouTube. We're live on YouTube, YouTube Shorts Live. We're live on YouTube Live. All right. Now, here's my question to you, brother. We have an entire debate script with several source materials showing that the Bible, the scripture that was in existence in the time of your prophet, is the same Bible from today. We have manuscript, archaeological, and historical evidence for that. So the argument that, well, it's not talking about that book, well, then can you explain why Muhammad would say that, or why Allah would supposedly reveal or give a revelation to Muhammad saying that the truth has certainly come to you from your Lord, right? And he's telling him, ask one of those who read the scripture before you. So my thing is, Muslims love to say, well, the Bible's corrupted, or that's not the Bible that it had. But history has shown that it's the same Bible, albeit different languages and a different translation, but it is the same script, the same manuscripts, right? So can you explain 1094 and its context, please?
Yeah, sure. So like when we read 1094, right, if you read Tafsir al-Tabari, for example, he says that the people that he's being told to go ask are going to be people like Abdullah ibn Salam, right? And those from him who are going to be people of the truth who actually became Muslim because they found Prophet Muhammad sallallahu in his description in the Torah in 7th century, right? So it's not talking about all the Christians and Jews at that time. It's going to be talking about certain Muslims actually who converted from the religion of Christianity, or Jews who had knowledge of the Prophet being prophesied in their scripture. If you read like another example, Tafsir Muqatil ibn Sulaiman, where he says, he quotes the verse, it says, so if you are in doubt, then you can, Muhammad sallallahu, and then you can ask those who read the scripture like Abdullah ibn Salam. So you're supposed to ask people like them.
Okay,
And
so
it's not saying,
okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No problem. And also, you are wrong. We do definitely have proof that the Bible has been changed, even from your own sources. Like we can look at early church father work, like Saint Justin Martyr, for example, where he writes in his like dialogue with Kaifa, and he's saying like the Jews are evil and they're burning the scripture and they're burning the Torah and they're forging verses into and they're removing verses from it. We have John of Chrysostom where he says, don't busy yourself looking for the lost verses and the lost prophecies, because many of the prophetic writings have been lost.
Okay, hold on. So hold on to that point for a second. Just hold on to that for a second, because you say you have proof on that, and there's everything that you literally just said is completely false. But I want to do one point at a time, because what ends up happening is I answer you guys questions and then I get accused of shotgunning, and I don't want to hear that today. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take your first point and I'm gonna set the record straight on that first, because what you're saying is that essentially only some Christians and Jews recognize Muhammad, and you're saying that is what the revelation is basically saying to Muhammad, outside of the fact that you completely skipped over the plain reading, because it doesn't talk anything about Christians and Jews who actually converted to Islam. I've actually heard that before. Unfortunately for you, there's nothing in the Quran that makes an assertion to that. You guys add your own view and say, well, this person later on said X, Y, and Z. But here's the problem. Your Quran, you claim is the word of God. And because you claim it's the word of God, I find it very hard to believe that your God would be so ambiguous when giving you guys commands. Because there's nothing in this chapter that says anything that you just said, right? And what you're doing, in my estimation, is basically Muslim apologetics damage control. Surah 1094 is crystal clear. It tells Muhammad, if he's in doubt about the Quran, he should ask those reading the previous scriptures, meaning that the Jews and Christians at the time, right? Not some tiny handpicked group that converted after the fact. It doesn't say anything about Christians and Jews it doesn't say any of that. right? So what you're doing is you're trying to appeal to a historian and his tafsir, and that's great. But you can check Ibn Kathir's tafsir right now if that's what you want to do. He doesn't say it's about ex-Christians or a secret club of Muslims. That's not what he says. He literally says the people of the scripture were those who still possess the Torah and the gospel. And that's who Muhammad was told to consult. He was told to consult Tafsir Ibn Kathir in Surah 1094. So if you insist on appealing to those people, Al-Tabari said the same thing. None of those top scholars try to narrow it down to people. I don't know where you guys got this from, because there's nothing in your apologetics that even makes it remotely, like, where you guys get this from is astonishing to me. Right now, we can argue that point, but also you try to get into biblical corruption and your supposed sources, which is fine. But at the end of the day, now, if let's just say, for example, you could prove, let's say you could prove biblical corruption, you'd be the first one to do it. But if you could do that, what happens is you don't even realize how much further you dug yourself in, because your book, again, doesn't make distinction between a corrupted or a lost book. So if you're saying that it has been corrupted, well, congratulations. That means that it was corrupted in the 7th century, because the manuscripts that we consult are still the same ones that were verified historically today, that they use for translations today. And by the time Muhammad was born, you do understand that there were tens of thousands of manuscripts, and they would all have had to have been altered at the same time, right? And none of that matters historically. You know why? Because if it is corrupted, congratulations. The Quran is affirming a corrupted book. And you can't say that it was lost, because now it's corrupting a lost book. You can't say that it's true, because the Bible contradicts the Quran in things like Jesus' crucifixion and deity.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
All right, so I want everyone to pay attention and notice how he didn't respond to any of my points. He basically said, oh, you're appealing to tafsir, even though this argument is based off of an internal critique, which shows he doesn't understand how these basic arguments even function.
Well, wait a second. Hold on a second. Wait. First of all, hold on. Yeah, no, you can go ahead. I'm gonna let you answer. But my thing is, this is exactly what I'm telling you guys about, right? I never once came in here and tried to say, first of all, my background's not in debate. I talk to people here the way I talk to people in everyday life and on the street, right? If I speak to somebody on the street, or I'm having a conversation with them and they ask me a question and I answer it, and then the first thing out of his mouth is, you really think somebody on the street is going to say, oh, well, you know what? I don't know, because this is about an internal critique. I answered everything that you said, because I told you straight to your face. I'm telling you to your face that you are interjecting some random arbitrary lie. It's random, because there's nothing in the Quran. There is nothing in the Quran that says this is about people who've converted to Islam.
Bro, we're not Quranists. We don't just appeal to the Quran only. Are you good, bro?
No, are you good? Are you good? The Quran is the word of God, right? The Quran is the word of God. Are you good? Because if the Quran is the word of God, it's not ambiguous, is it?
Because he appeals. So guys, he appeals to church fathers, right?
No, don't speak to my audience. Speak to me.
I appeal to my scholars. Yeah, so it's okay for him to appeal to his authorities, but for some reason, when I
so I'm going to ask you one more time.
Why are you having a double standard, bro?
I'm going to ask you one more time, right? Stop talking to my audience. You're not here to talk to my audience. You're here to have a conversation with me, right? So don't ask me if I'm good, because you don't like that I'm holding you to a certain standard.
No, I think you're good. Now can I finish?
No, I know I'm good. I don't need you to tell me that. So finish your answer.
All right, thank you. So every single tafsir reading of this verse, right? Because again, we're not Quranists. We don't just read the Quran plainly, randomly out of our own interpretation and then force our own interpretation into it. No, we go by the interpretation of the early Muslims. What does every single early Muslim and every single tafsir reading of this verse say? It says it's talking about people like Abdullah ibn Salam, who literally became Muslim. The reason why these people became Muslim is because they found him in the Torah. And I can give you evidence and I can give you hadiths. For example, bro, are you going to keep laughing?
I'm laughing because it's funny. Go ahead. I'm not interrupting you. I'm laughing. I can laugh if I want.
All right. Anyways, and it's funny he brought up Ibn Kathir. He says, oh, but Ibn Kathir doesn't say that. Ibn Kathir literally says in the tafsir that those who follow the messenger, the prophet, who can neither read nor write, whom they find written with them in the Torah, they are certain of this as they are certain of their own children, yet they hide it and distort it. So Ibn Kathir literally just smoked you. Ibn Kathir is saying, yeah, they're hiding it and distorting it. Okay, I gave you Muqatil ibn Sulaiman, I gave you Tafsir al-Tabari, I gave you Ibn Kathir. All three of them smoke you. And they're all saying the same thing. No tafsir is in disagreement. They're all unanimous agreement that yes, it's only talking about certain people like Abdullah and Salam. Okay, and it's funny how you brought up, you basically kind of hinted at the Islamic dilemma a little bit, which is hilarious because you do realize we also affirm textual corruption. So because we also affirm textual corruption in the Torah, then that's gonna mean that no, it's not confirming.
So wait a second. You said Ibn Kathir smokes me, right? That's what you just said.
Yeah. He's
Okay, check this out. In his tafsir, Ibn Kathir explains Surah Yunus 10, ayah 94, by stating that if the Prophet Muhammad, according to him, peace be upon him, were in doubt about his revelation, he should ask the people of the book, Jews and Christians, who had prior scriptures. This here, I'm going to show it on the screen. I'm going to show it. This is once again. Ibn Kathir smokes me, right? Ibn Kathir smokes me, according to another Dawah dud. Okay. This is because the truth of the Quran is confirmed in their scriptures, and they could provide witness to it. The verse serves to strengthen. So the truth of your Quran is confirmed in my scriptures. This is because the truth of the Quran is confirmed in their scriptures, and they could provide witness to it. The verse serves. Hold on. The verse serves to strengthen the Uthman's faith by showing the congruence between the Quran and previous revelations. The Prophet, however, did not have any doubt, so he would not have needed to ask. So my question to you is, your ad hoc explanation was that Ibn Kathir smokes me because supposedly that verse is talking about Jews and Christians who converted to Islam. And yet there's nothing in any of this search that even remotely says that that's what he said.
Yeah, so again, when it comes to the Quran, when it comes to the Quran,
and then he leaves. What a shock! No, I can't hear you. This is your mind on Islam. Notice when they ask a question about the Bible, I don't have to go to anyone else, any outside publication, any outside illustration. But when you ask them about something that is ridiculously idiotic in the Quran, well, we have to go to Ibn Kathir. We have to go to bed. You said Ibn Kathir smokes me. Can anybody show Quran? Well, we have to go to Ibn Kathir. We have to go to bed. You said Ibn Kathir smokes me. Can anybody show me anywhere in this where it says that this is about Christians and Jews who have converted to Islam? What a clown. What a clown. And you know what's crazy about it? And this is the funniest part. You can laugh all you want, but the whole argument that was presented by this fool, actually, I just don't understand. I don't understand. Right? He cherry picked a few sentences out of context because he thought he was cute, right? But then when you pull up his tafsir on Surah 1094, he explicitly said that Muhammad is told, if you are in doubt, ask those reading the scripture before you. He does not say ask only ex-Christians who became Muslim. He's talking about the people who still have the Torah and the gospel. You guys are so deceitful that this is why you have to claim false victories. This is why you guys claim false victories, because you know that you'll never have any actual history or manuscript evidence that helps you. And then you say, yeah, but Ibn Kathir smokes you. Look here. I'm going to make it nice and big so that you guys can see it. Nice and big. As a matter of fact, I'm going to add a screen share here on TikTok, just so that this guy can see how deceitful. Right, and then when you say something to them, oh no, he literally smokes you. Where? Is this thing gonna pop over now? Okay, display capture right here. I want you to read it. I want you to look right there as soon as you look it up. Look right here, look at what I said. Ibn Kathir tafsir about Surah 1094. That's all I said. When you go down, look what it says. In his tafsir, Ibn Kathir explains Surah Yunus 10, ayah 94 by stating that if the Prophet Muhammad were in doubt about his revelation, he should ask the people of the book, Jews and Christians, who had prior scriptures. This is because the truth of the Quran is confirmed. The truth of the Quran is confirmed in their scriptures. The Bible, the Torah, and the gospel. That's what it's saying. That the Quran is confirmed in our scriptures, and they could provide witness to it. When I read that part, he started laughing as if I said something that agreed with him. This is how their brains are wired, to hear whatever they want. The verse serves to strengthen the Ummah's faith by showing the congruence between the Quran and previous revelations. Now, ask yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, why would that be important? If the Bible is supposedly corrupted, as they say, that he had proof for, which no one has done it yet, so I'm not going to hold my breath that he had actually anything. The prophet, however, did not have any doubt, so he would not have needed to ask. Down here, the verse is a hypothetical instruction for the prophet to address any potential doubt he might have about the divine revelation sent to him. Seeking confirmation from previous scriptures, if doubt were to arise, he was to ask those who read the Torah and Injil, the gospel, before him. This implies that the truth of his message was already present and documented in previous scriptures. Magneto and every other Muslim out there, do yourself a favor and stop. When people come at you aggressively, stop calling it crashing out. You sound like a 13-year-old girl because you don't like that you're hearing the truth and there's nothing you can do about it. So shut your mouth with that garbage already. Crashing out? Why? Because I'm exposing your lie? I literally have it right here for everybody to see. The Prophet Muhammad famously stated that he did not doubt the revelation, nor did he need to ask anyone for confirmation. Great. Therefore, the verse's true purpose was to provide a strong argument to the general public, the Ummah, about the truth of the Quran and the prophethood of Muhammad by referencing the previous holy books. Look at that. Previous holy books. Previous holy books. Yeah, you go ahead and think that if you want to, Magneto. It's funny. You guys always think that you're baking somebody, but you're not baking anybody, right? What you're doing is you're showing the world why it is that you guys lose every single debate. Because I literally just read out loud to you the tafsir from Ibn Kathir that you said bakes me, right? That you said cooks me. So when I read it out loud, I want to know where in that disjointed little brain of yours you heard anything about Christians and Jews converting to Islam. Where? Where did you hear that? Because I didn't hear it. I read it out loud. I read the entire thing. Oh, but let me guess. I used Google, so it doesn't count, right? I use Google, so it doesn't count. Unbelievable. All right, there's no guest requests. So let's see. Nobody's calling on YouTube. crossunit.live/call, ladies and gentlemen. I think that it is absolutely insane. As a matter of fact, here. I don't get it. Oh, I gotta shrink this thing back down. Come on. This is too easy. Look at the question that I asked. I want you guys to look at this, and I want you guys to go into Google right now. Don't even take my word for it, even though I'm showing on the screen. If you're on TikTok and you guys leave, I'm not even going to get offended. Go into Google on your smartphone, tablet, laptop, desktop, computer, whatever it is, and I want you guys to type, very simply, no bias involved, does 1094 talk about Christians and Jews that converted to Islam? Right? CIA, ChatGPT gives a perfect explanation. But wait a second, I thought you guys laugh if people use ChatGPT. So you're using ChatGPT that you no doubt manipulated like Lily J in order to explain your nonsense. But if a Christian is baking a Muslim, which happens every day, we're using ChatGPT, and it's funny. You were the one earlier who called me Pastor Google, but now you're using ChatGPT? Does 1094 talk about Christians and Jews that converted to Islam? Yeah, Jackson, listen to what Google says. No! Quran 1094 does not directly discuss Jews and Christians who converted to Islam, but rather instructs Prophet Muhammad to consult the people of the scripture if he has doubts about his revelation. Islamic scholars interpret this verse in several ways, often viewing it as a message to those who might be skeptical rather than the Prophet himself. You want to see it? Here. Let me show you guys on TikTok, because apparently reality escapes you. It escapes you, and it's sad. It is sad. This is why 2025 and 2024 were such good years for apologetics and Christianity, because y'all just do not get it, man. Y'all don't get it. Right here. It's right there on the screen for you. I'm showing it up. I'm showing you guys right now what it says. Look, I will read it for you guys again. For those of you who are Muslim, and I know it's harder for you guys to understand. No, look, I set it up here. Look at what I said in the search bar, ladies and gentlemen. Does 1094 talk about Christians and Jews that converted to Islam? Look, I'm going to go all the way over here to show you guys that I did not manipulate the answer. And it's Google anyway, so it wouldn't, right? Google, with the power of AI overview, which was something they're doing now apparently, says no. The Quran 1094 does not directly discuss Jews and Christians who converted to Islam, but rather instructs Prophet Muhammad to consult the people of the scripture if he has doubts about his revelation. Islamic scholars interpret this verse in several ways, often viewing it as a message to those who might be skeptical rather than to the Prophet himself. Young Christian, what's going on today, brother?
I thought you were going live later, so I'm a little late. Sorry.
No, you're good. Don't worry about it. I'm just over here cooking, man. I'm over here cooking. These guys, I love it. I have already gotten 2 extraordinarily false claims that I disproved in seconds. But then, what was funny about it? It come back into the chat after I boot them for lying, and they say they cooked me. Right? I had one guy who came in and said that there was a Syriac and Aramaic copy of John 20 verse 6, and then he said John 15:26, right? And does it verify that it verifies Muhammad or whatever? Bro, all I did was go into a simple Google search to show the world how to combat these lies, and it said no right away. I had another guy come in here and say that Quran 1094 is talking about Jews and Christians who converted to Islam, despite the fact that it doesn't say that anywhere. Then he appealed to his tafsirs, right, and early Islamic scholars. And then when I looked it up, when I looked up the tafsir, when I looked up the things that they said, everything that says is no, right? But then you have people who come in and say, oh, well, this is Pastor Google. Then you have a Muslim who comes in the chat and says, oh, well, I just use Chat GPT and it's a very easy explanation. So wait a second. You guys, when you're losing a debate, you accuse me and countless other Christians of using Chat GPT. But it's okay if you guys use it. But you'll make fun of me for using Google and showing that everything that was offered to me right now was a complete lie. And then what do they say? Oh, you're crashing out. I'm crashing out because I'm showing the world that you're a liar? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm sorry that your apologetics are so rooted in lies that you're not used to getting exposed. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you guys say things and that the actual internet, where almost all human knowledge is available as we know it, doesn't agree with what you're saying. So I'm sorry, I can't use Google, right? You guys can use ChatGPT, you can use whatever. Hey, come on, man. This is your mind on Islam. It's crazy already. How you doing, young Christian?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I was gonna try to hit like a workout in before the stream, but I saw you were live, so like, oh well, do it later, I guess.
Oh, good brother. I appreciate you being here.
Yeah. One thing I want to say on that, like, crash out, there's something also called, I think it's called valid crash outs, right? So there's a reason sometimes to crash out.
Yeah.
Like when the situation calls for it,
right?
You know. But
even the thing is, this is me. This is who I am. This is how I am, right? Especially when I catch somebody in deception, you're gonna know that I am, because I'm gonna make it very clear. And whether people don't like my tone or whatever is besides the point, right? It's like when you're growing up. Are your parents obligated to tell you things in a real nice way, in a soft voice? No. I'm gonna tell you things exactly the way that they need to be said. It is what it is.
So hey, what's up?
What's up, Muslim jurist? How you doing? Dude, I remember hearing your name before. Did you call God Logic Show the other day?
No, I've never talked to that guy. Now here it says Jesus is king. Can I ask you a couple of questions about Christianity?
Well, we have a topic, brother. We have a topic, so we'll address the topic, and then after we have sufficiently done
so you're not interested in answering questions about Christianity. Okay, that's all I wanted to think. It's okay.
I didn't say that. Did I say that?
Okay, so let's answer my question.
Brother, you are under a gross misapprehension about how this works.
Okay, well then let's change it so that I can ask your question.
Okay, you can ask me the question after you address the fallacy in your book.
Because you're not wanting to answer my question.
I can answer whatever question you want. The point is that I said it's going to happen under the premises that I have established. If you can't conform to the guidelines under which I have established, then I don't know what you're calling my show for.
Well, that's fine. If you don't want to answer my question immediately, then that's fine.
Right. Yeah, I'm not wearing a hijab. I'm not here to do your bidding. Very simple, right? I mean, young Christian, am I unreasonable? Am I unreasonable for wanting people to actually speak about the topic that I have scheduled? I mean, is that an unreasonable request?
Oh, what is it? Islam versus Christianity, right?
Right. It's very simple.
Yeah.
Right. And I have a very specific question that I'm starting with. That's not difficult. I don't understand why it's difficult for certain people to grasp these things. Right. I also want to say thank you, ladies and gentlemen, to everybody who watched my last video. The TikTok Dawa gets crushed. He I don't know if you saw that in the Discord, Young. He literally he downloaded my video and then pretty much re-uploaded it as his own. He zoomed in on me and cropped a little bit and then put his profile picture next to mine, and then did some titles at the bottom. And I just want to say you're welcome to the Muslim Apologetic, because he's gotten a good amount of views on the video, quite simply because it's my video, right? He didn't do it because it was his own editing or anything like that. And listen, I'm not complaining about it. It is what it is. You do what you got to do. If that's how you want to, if you feel like you did something there, if you feel like you exposed something there, that's on you. We got a caller on YouTube by the name of Mo. Mo, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Yo, man, I just wanted to remind you, man, you got baked last night.
Yeah.
With the Muslim Apologetic. That's why you silenced your comments.
I didn't silence my comments.
Oh, yeah, you did.
No,
you
I
got it
didn't.
on subscriber only mode.
Yeah, and your apologists do the same thing.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So can you show?
So
can
why'd
you
concede the argument 3 minutes in?
Can you prove that I conceded it?
Yeah, 3 minutes in, he said, if you agree that...
No. That's not what he said. That's not what he said.
Yeah, he said...
No. If you're going to use the words, be intelligent enough to actually use the correct words sequentially.
Sure. Love the insults. He said that, do you agree that the Quranic author is making conscious edits to the biblical accounts? I know you're twitching. You're a little worried right now.
I'm not twitching anything. I'm not worried. Here, I'm gonna bring it up. I'll bring up the video, because I mean, it doesn't surprise me that you're a liar. So here, let's talk about the actual video here, and let's bring it up. Let's do that.
Disappeared.
Yeah, he left because he's a coward.
Okay.
Yeah, he left because he's a coward. So here's the thing, guys. Here, let's look at the video together, and I'll stop right after the part where he thinks that I got baked last night, because this wasn't even last night. This was a couple days ago. Oh, and let me show you guys something else. You know what? Now that we're talking about it, I do want to show you guys something else. And I know Young is going to get a kick out of this, and anybody else who's on stream. So let me download this right quick, because I got so baked, right? I got so baked. So let me download this, and let me download that. All right. Now, we're going to open this up. Let's get out of this. All right. So now, we got two JPEGs here. From guess who? The Muslim Apologetic. This was Friday, 3:36 p.m., which was the day after I smoked him in the debate. He says, hey, Maverick, I see you like to talk about me a lot, and so far you made 2 videos of a clip I posted of you. How about a moderated debate on the Islamic dilemma? Because it seems you had a lot to say. Let me know. I said, like to talk about you? 2 videos isn't liking talking about you. He says, moderate debate. I says, either way, I'll talk to you with a moderator. Let me speak to my people and see if they're available next week or the week after for moderation, right? He says, sounds good, let me know. Because I have 2 jobs. This is me. Because I have 2 jobs, so the times I can sit down for debating and streaming is very limited. I know you have a tight schedule. Same here, so understandable, right? That was the last thing we said to each other. Now, let me ask you a question, ladies and gentlemen. Young, maybe my outlook on this is very different than what reality really is. Maybe it is, right? Because Mo came in here like a typical Muslim, and he hit and ran because he's cowardly, right? So here's my question. If you had a debate with somebody and you truly felt like you won that debate, are you going to ask me for a rematch the very next day?
Probably not.
Right.
Unless I like the conversation. But if so, I see what you're getting at, right? Like, if I'm confident, if my sole goal was to win, then I wouldn't need to talk to them again.
Right.
That's if your goal. My goal isn't typically just to win. I like, having good conversations, but yeah.
Right. And that's exactly right. So my thing is, they say he supposedly baked me. Now, here, I want you guys to listen to this, and I want you guys to let me know. I'm going to go until, wait, did I, oh, here's the intro already. Okay. So it's very quick. Yeah, man.
It's intriguing, so I want to come up and see what arguments you present.
For sure. Yeah, we're just talking about anything that we were talking about. I'm
Can
sure
you-
you
can
heard
you
the
hear?
entire conversation we were just. Here, I'm sorry. Let me share the screen with you. I forgot to share the screen with you. Here we go. All right. Was having about the Islamic dilemma, and I asked my brother, well, you know what? We can start off with the question that I was asking him. Maybe you can give me an answer, because as much as I like Nizam, and he's a great guy, he's an intelligent guy, and I love him, and I really do appreciate him calling here. I think we had a very healthy conversation. The one question I continue to ask that I didn't get an answer to was a very simple one, and that is, why did he say? And did he ask the question already?
Comes to the deity of Christ. When it comes,
I understand what you're saying. I understand what your belief is as far as corruption. What did he say? That's 3 not minutes what I in? asked you, though. What I asked you was verses, and we read them in context.
you ask him to read in context, but you have to understand that the historical reading or the historical revelation of the Quran is also important. Meaning that we also have to know how the Quranic author or his perspective of how he's actually presented this. So look, for example, if the Quranic author affirms the scriptures, but has no issue in saying that some of these scriptures are going to be wrong by doing conscious edits, it means that whoever authored the Quran does not believe that it is absolutely true. So the question is going to... Wait, one second. I know.
Go ahead.
1 second.
Go ahead.
So the question is, if the Quranic author doesn't believe that the scriptures are going to be absolutely true, why should I extend to me, and why should I have to hold to the same position when he doesn't hold to that?
Well, so you're making the claim that the Bible has been put through edits. That's what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that's what the Quranic author believed.
Okay. How do you know what he believed?
Through the conscious edits that he makes in the Quran.
And give me an example of one of those conscious edits.
Yeah, for example, the account of let's go to the account of the crucifixion.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Quran negates the account of the crucifixion, although it's aware that this is what the Christians believed in, and that's what's in the scriptures.
Okay.
So although he confuses with them, he has no issue in negating an essential belief that they have that's found in the scriptures. So that means that the Quranic author does not believe that everything you have is true.
Correct, and that's fine. But you're utilizing circular logic, because you're stating, well, you guys believe that the crucifixion will happen, but the author of the Quran did not believe it, and therefore it's true. I'm sorry, that's not good.
Wait, no. Are you? So wait, just so I'm clear, are you agreeing that the Quranic author doesn't believe everything you have is true?
I'm sorry, that the Quranic author doesn't believe what?
That everything you have is true. Are you agreeing with that?
No, I'm not. I don't.
Okay.
So he asked once, are you agreeing that the Quranic author doesn't agree that everything in the Bible is true? I made it clear. No, I don't agree with that. Right? I don't care. I'm not going to sit there and appeal to what the Quranic author believed, because I have no idea what he believed. And for me, it doesn't matter.
Wait. Hold on. Wait, if I want to know what the Quranic author believes, I can refer back to the Quran, correct?
Okay, great. So here's the thing, and I understand.
Wait. 1 second, please. This is very important.
Okay, doesn't say.
Do you agree with me? Wait, do you agree with me that if the Quranic author does conscious edits of the biblical account, it means he does not believe it is absolutely true, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely. He didn't believe. Obviously, he thought it was. I don't know if he believed it was true or there was something else behind it. But now look at what I said right after I answered this question, right? Well, obviously, he thought it was. I don't know if he believed it was true or there. I don't know if he believed it was true something else behind it, or if there was something else behind it.
I'm
I'm not appealing to what he believed, because I don't
Wait.
care. I'm not appealing to what he believes, so I don't care.
Host, you just conceded the argument.
I did not concede anything. Again, okay. So let me ask you guys a question for all you clownish Muslims in there. And I'm gonna ask young. And listen, I'm not gonna get mad at whatever answer you guys give. I want to know in the comment section right now, because I even put a post out there, because if I have a slip of the tongue or I say something wrong, I've asked you guys before to call me out on it, because I expect to be called out on it, right? So my question to you guys, especially you guys who are here now, grafted and young, where in that exchange did you hear a concession of the Islamic dilemma? Can you guys tell me? Did you guys hear that?
No, I don't think so. I think, and I mentioned this in your comments. I think they're kind of misunderstanding your point, because, like, that's the whole dilemma. The Quran contradicts those vital issues, like the crucifixion. Yet it also affirms the Gospels.
Right.
Therefore, Islam is false.
Yep.
So we can we can concede that it makes conscious conscious edits, but it also confirms what it's consciously editing.
Right.
Right. That's the whole dilemma.
It's I think I said this to you as well, Maverick. Like it's like a tautology, and it's designed to like elicit a concession or at least get you to agree on some level.
Right.
But then he takes it a step further and just assumes that now you've conceded the dilemma itself.
Correct. Yep. And you know what's funny? Do you guys remember God TV Radio? He's been here every now and again. He has a channel. So I've been here, and he one time I think he was trying to set up some sort of video where he was like that he wanted to set up. I'm sure you guys have seen before, like when content creators have like conversations with AI, whether it be Grok or ChatGPT, whatever, and they're like debating them openly just to see, how smart these things are, right? So he was using God TV Radio was using Copilot. So I'm going to show you guys something very funny, because I'm like, wait, did I say something? Am I missing something here? I think, like you said, it was just a way for them to try to make it seem like I said something that I clearly did not say, right? Is this it? I don't even know if this is it anymore. What I think it is. Where is it? Dang it. Hang on. You guys go ahead and talk. I gotta find this.
Sure. I reckon that not everyone really knows what a tautology is. So just while Maverick is searching it, so what a tautology is basically is it's like a sentence structure. You know how many propositions have like a P and a Q, a proposition and a conclusion? Tautologies are like these weirdly structured like propositions that basically confirm themselves. So it's like you can say that the Quran doesn't fully agree with the Bible because it edits the Bible. That is a true statement in and of itself, but it doesn't give us any new information. The proposition being true doesn't mean now that like we've jumped to what the conclusion actually is.
Right.
Usually like a true structure gives us a premise or set of premises that lead to a conclusion.
Yep.
He's just given us the conclusion being true already by like a false P and Q.
Right.
Like it's a meaningless relationship.
It
That's
is.
all a tautology is. You would agree with it because it is true.
Correct.
But it doesn't mean that it actually leads to the conclusion he said you conceded to. Like that's just what I'm saying.
Right.
It's just a tautology.
And that's exactly what it is. Me telling you that I agree that there's a possibility that he didn't agree, even though I had made it clear earlier in the conversation that I thought he just didn't know what he was talking about. My point was, yeah, there's a possibility that he thought it was false. There's a possibility that he just didn't know what he was talking about. Either way, it has no bearing on the actual question that I'm asking you, because his thought process was, well, because I think this is what his intent was by denying the crucifixion. Therefore, it now means that the previous affirmations of the Bible and other scriptures are now all partial. It is I don't know that anyone ever grasped at straws harder on the internet. And it was, to me, it was pathetic. So the reason that I was asking you guys about that I was at, what is lowest ranking Muslim talking about it? He was looking for a gotcha moment, but he didn't get it. The only ones who think it was an actual gotcha moment were by disingenuous Muslims, which shouldn't surprise anyone. So the reason I asked you guys about God TV Radio, I shared the screen with you, is because I guess he uses Copilot to verify certain things. Now, the reason I'm showing you guys this is because you see here, look, I started using it July 11th, and I left all this here so nobody can say that I've manipulated it, right? So since July 11th, look at introduction to Copilot chat, introduction to Copilot voice, and then several weeks later, I, out of curiosity, started using it to analyze debate SRTs, which I have shown grafted before, which I know he used, right? I actually grabbed the one from this video, the one that we were just talking about. And the only thing I ever ask is who won this exchange. Very simple, right? I don't want any bias. I don't want anything, because obviously we're not biased. I mean, we're biased. Obviously Muslims are biased, right? So I give it to the engine, one that has not in any way been manipulated. Right. So when I ran this through before, but I wanted to share it with you guys so that nobody can accuse me of impropriety. This exchange was intense, bro, from a debate analysis standpoint, especially considering your standards of clarity, substance, and scholarly rigor. The host clearly dominated. Breakdown of the exchange. Now, again, you guys see here the only things that are on here. And look at debate outcome, evaluating debate on Quranic integrity, right? analysis of debate on gospel, and they all say the same thing. Debate analysis, debate on the Islamic dilemma, debate analysis, right? So there's nothing there in the history that's going to have pushed it in any certain direction. So the central question here is, where does the Quran say it only affirms parts of the previous scriptures, not the whole? This was asked repeatedly and remained unanswered in any direct or textually grounded way. The guest strategy, and this is going to what you're talking about, Grafted, argument from conscious edits, quote, conscious edits, claim that the Quranic author knowingly altered biblical narratives, for example, the crucifixion, implying selective affirmation, which is what you were talking about, Grafted, right? His appeal to Surah 4:157 used it to argue that the Quran denies the crucifixion, thus not affirming all of the Bible. The historical context defense. He tried to justify selective affirmation by referencing the author's awareness and intent. The problems behind the guest's approach. He never cited a verse that explicitly or implicitly states partial affirmation. He relied heavily on inference and authorial intent, which the host rejected as speculative. Now, let me stop right there. Do you guys agree with not only the AI, but myself, that the way that he was approaching the argument was pure speculation at best?
Yeah, because like the other alternative is that the Quran just isn't aware that the Gospels teach the crucifixion. Like I think somewhere, I don't know if it's in the Hadith or the Quran, it talks about Muhammad listening to what Jews and Christians would say, and he's writing these things down. And he's obviously he's an illiterate prophet. I'm not saying that to insult him. This is what they believe,
right?
And so you can make the argument that yeah, the Quran says that Jesus wasn't crucified, but that wasn't because Muhammad read the gospel and then disagreed with it. It's just he didn't know it was there,
right?
So
yeah,
it's a bit of a difficult one to answer because if I'm not mistaken, I think the Muslim Apologetic did first open with that the Quranic author has knowledge of the previous scriptures. And then he used that to build on, well, he can edit if he knows it but doesn't agree with it. But if you didn't establish that like the Quranic author knows all the scriptures, then it's 100% just like speculation and inference.
The closest that he got to that in that conversation, to my recollection, was him making the claim that Muhammad had several students and scribes who were aware of the Hebrew scriptures. Now,
okay, I see. Yeah, so it's like just one presupposition that he uses to empower the rest of his argument.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Moving on with the problems in his approach, it says that he failed to engage with counter evidence like 547, 3, and 4, and 1094, which suggests full affirmation of the Torah and the gospel. It talks about my strategy, the whole strategy, laser focuses on the question, which according to Muslims is a crash out. He refused to be sidetracked by appeals to authorial psychology or historical speculation, which I think is a good approach. Because if you're appealing to speculation, then you're not appealing to any actual scholarly data. You're just you are looking at what someone wrote and then using mental gymnastics to try to make an assertion of partial affirmation throughout the rest of the Quran, which really it just boiled down to a blunder, right? Textual rebuttals cited multiple verses that command Christians and Jews to judge by what Allah has revealed therein, implying full affirmation. Tafsir references brought in classical commentators such as Al-Tabari, Ibn Kathir, and Al-Qurtubi to reinforce that the Quran addressed real Jews and Christians with real scriptures. Now, what I think is funny about this is that from my experience, if any of these, if there's scholarly data or references that are spoken of, and it's actually somewhat misrepresented by anyone, it'll tell me. And I'm going to show you guys that in a second. Logical framing accused the guest of circular reasoning and ad hoc inference. Verdict: the host wins. The guest failed to meet the burden of proof. His argument was speculative, lacked textual support, and did not withstand scrutiny. The host maintained control, cited sources, and exposed logical flaws. Even if one disagrees with the host's tone, the substance of his critique was sharper, more direct, and better supported. And then it says, would you like a timestamp breakdown of key turning points in the exchange? That could be useful in your planning if you're planning to clip or analyze it further, right? So now, again, I'm not saying that because this is said by Copilot or any other AI that it is 100% true. I truly want to know what you guys think, because I, in my infinite wisdom, understand that I'm learning every single day, and I don't think that everything is right just because it comes out of my mouth. So you guys go ahead and you look at this if you want to. You let me know if there's anything you agree with, disagree with, because I can tell you right now, if you guys look back before, this is what I use. Look, I've done this many times. Look, even one with God Logic and another Muslim apologist. Look right here. This was one between. This might have been one of mine. On the Islamic dilemma. And look, it even breaks down. Look, final scorecard, Christian apologist, historical evidence. Yeah, this is one of mine. Quranic engagement, logical consistency, rhetorical control, scholarly citations. All the checks were on my side. Yeah, see, it does this for me all the time. And look, and as you guys can see, look, this was on one of the videos. This was on the one that he said. It said, the Muslim says that the Christian conceded on the Islamic dilemma. What really happened here? Again, you guys see no inflammatory language, right? I'm showing you guys this. Look, there's no history, but I'm going up. There's nothing else. What actually happened was, and this sounds like something that Grafted said, was not a concession, but a breakdown in clarity and control. The Christian host repeatedly asked a pointed question. Where does the Quran say it only affirms parts of the previous scriptures? This is the crux of the so-called Islamic dilemma. If the Quran claims to confirm the Torah and gospel, but also contradicts key doctrines like the crucifixion, then either the Bible is corrupted, which the Quran doesn't explicitly say, or the Quran contradicts itself. Now, guys, this is not me typing this. This is a freaking computer engine saying this, right? And the computer engine just literally ended Muslim apologetics right here in these 6 words, which the Quran does not explicitly say. Doesn't explicitly say. Or the Quran contradicts itself. What the Muslim argued, and then and right here, I'm not going to go through it again, right? But it's essentially the same thing. You guys see, look, I don't do this. I do this as a way to teach myself, right? Look it even breaks it down in timestamps for me. When you go all the way back, look at all the way to here. I'm going to go all the way to the top for you guys so you guys can see. And I say the same thing every time. Look, do the same for this. Assess the winner of this debate. Look at what I say. Do the same for this. Assess who the winner of this debate was on pure substance. Again, Christian debater, Brother Maverick. What was the verdict on this? Brother Maverick clearly outperformed on substance. I mean, this happens over and over and over, right? Because you guys know how I am about speaking with data behind what I say. I don't like to just say things if I can't prove that they're true. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. I'll go back to this and you let me know what you think.
Yeah. I mean, I would only use this for learning.
Right.
I think you do that too. You're not going to go on YouTube and say, "Hey, AI Copilot." Like, we're not going to be like Lily J.
Right.
Enthusiasts here. So, and I think that overall, maybe I would have worded certain things differently, but overall, when you had that debate or discussion, I think you did pretty well, and you emphasized that point that you're asking for the Quran where it teaches this, not simply, hey, here's this, because the argument he was making is very speculative, and it wouldn't really match with the explicit statements from the Quran about affirming the gospel. So, for example, let's say, just hypothetically, I don't believe this is actually in the Bible. Let's say hypothetically there was an explicit verse where it says Jesus is not God. Well, okay, then I can't use places where I can try to infer Jesus is God, because here's the explicit statement. So the same thing, like, you can't use that very speculative historical argument, right? That maybe the Quranic author rejects the Gospels in part because it contradicts it. Right. Well, there's other possibilities. What we got to stick with is, and we can go to implicit stuff. I'm not saying everything has to be verbatim, of course. But if the explicit says one thing, forget about whatever the heck the implicit says. If the explicit says one thing, it's done and over with. Right.
Yeah. I agree.
Grafted, you can go ahead now.
Okay. I'll read my tautology note because I have a repository on this. I think it's, again, for me, it's also just like a learning exercise. But for myself, what I noted and picked out was that, like, the tautology of this, like, what it does is it effectively presents itself as the standard. And I'm not immediately going to call it circular reasoning, but it tracks along like the same kind of line that, like, basically the Quran's going, well, I'm editing it so I disagree with it. But that doesn't automatically follow into, okay, whatever I disagree with is corrupted. For all we know, Allah could be disagreeing with his own established truthful words. And we see this principle existing. Allah abrogation, right? It's the same thing. Those were true, but Allah still disagreed with it and replaced it. So, like, it's important to recognize that just because you could appeal to the Quran agreeing with what it agrees with, or vice versa, that doesn't necessarily like resolve what was happening here. Because, for example, if there are parts of the Bible that the Quran disagrees with, and supposedly the author is all-knowing of prior revelations, then why do we actually end up seeing the Quran expect the other scriptures to agree with it? It's pointing to something outside of itself and expecting those things to agree with it. So it can no longer now just be the only standard, and this is exactly what 1094 does.
Right.
It creates an external truth standard where it now expects scriptures to agree with it. So it can't just be its own self-verifying, oh, no, just only what I agree with is true.
Right.
So, like, if Muhammad is told to go and check with the people of the book, that already tells you that either the Quran is potentially going to agree with things that it contradicts, or it only affirming itself is not actually an absolute true statement or an absolute authority, like affirmation, the way the Muslim apologetic was framing it. He just framed it in such a way that you would agree with him, but it doesn't mean that you have to accept what follows next.
Right. And even then, I had made it clear several times before that what his state of mind was irrelevant. And I know you both heard me say that plenty of times, right? And the only thing I agreed with him on was the premise that it was possible that he did disagree with it. But it didn't matter at the end of the day, because he was making it clear that he wrote something in what they consider a holy book, that he made a claim and blundered and said something did not happen, which there's nothing in actual recognized history that agrees with it, right? The crucifixion is one of the most attested to events as far as almost anything in history. And so you appealing to the state of mind of a writer of a book that you have no way to prove, and then, like Grafted said, you're trying to use that because the only thing that you were looking for was a way to try to get me to say something close enough to what you want so that you can say that I conceded. And then what did he title his video? That he buried the Islamic dilemma once and for all. What? Brother, you didn't answer the question one time. Even computer models know that you didn't. You know what I mean? And like Young Christian said, I am not telling you guys to use this stuff, because here's the thing. Computer models can easily be manipulated from what I understand, right? These AIs can be easily manipulated from what I understand. This is why when I do very selectively use these, and even Grafted started doing it because he Discorded me and said, man, look, I ran my stuff through and this is what it said, which I 100% agreed with. I mean, I didn't need ChatGPT, Grok, or Copilot to tell me that Grafted won that exchange. I already knew it was coming before the conversation started. But the point is that if you guys are going to use these things, use it as a way to inform yourself, right? And do not, once you find yourself manipulating the engine, there's no point in using it anymore, because you're only finding the answers that you actually want to find. You're not finding things that are based in any actual knowledge, right? No scholarly data, no history, no manuscripts, whatever. You can program these things to tell you to find whatever you want. Why do you think that when I showed you guys what I said, what the hell?
When you're done, I want to just say something.
Go ahead, Young Christian. I got a phone call. Go ahead.
Yeah. I've been getting pinged on Discord, and I'm being told that Charlie Kirk was just shot in the neck and passed away while he was speaking.
Sorry, what?
Wait, Charlie Kirk?
Yeah, I was getting pings all over Discord that he got shot.
No, I didn't see. No, I didn't. Hang on. No, I didn't. My daughter's calling me about that right now. Give me a second. Do they know? Did they catch who shot him?
I don't know. Zach just showed me in my
not sure.
Oh, it says pray for Charlie. Hold on. I got Tatum.
And this guy that shot him is worth nothing.
So Charlie Kirk got shot.
Probably never did anything in his life. Made zero
Where did you see
impact
that,
in the world.
I don't know. Zach literally just showed me a video I don't know if it was
and
from
thought he
Twitter
was
or
going to
he
take a
was literally
shot
debating someone and like all the blood was coming
at
from
one of the greatest
so he got shot.
Americans to live.
I'm gonna look it up.
Unless he was like,
And
it
we
was, like,
and we
fake.
supposed
I
to
don't know.
just let that be that. We supposed to be okay with it. We supposed to let it slide. We supposed to not be the beginning of a revolution.
Yeah,
I'm
I see the
never gonna
screenshot.
let
The
this
bullet hit
go.
him right. It looks like right in the artery.
And
Dead, right?
I don't know. There's no way to know. People get shot in the neck and they don't
you
always
know-
necessarily die.
Oh, I know, but it was
Oh yeah,
so
I saw.
know.
Yeah, he got shot. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, if it separated his brainstem, yeah, but we won't know. Yeah, I saw the video.
They want to take
I mean,
it
if
there.
you guys are watching the video,
They wanna
viewer
take it
discretion is
there.
advised.
They don't want peace. They don't want
Okay,
conversation.
mommy, I'll call you back.
Okay.
Okay, love you. Bye.
They
Thank
want
you.
to take it there. Somebody said there's an update on Fox News.
Yeah, the blood started pouring out of his neck right away.
Is
I
anything
don't know.
coming from Fox News?
CNN Vanjos lied about the
No,
brutal.
that's it.
Oh, okay, that's not. Yeah, it looked like a sniper shot, honestly.
Sorry, guys, y'all super chats. I'm gonna try to go. and
Charlie
look at
Kirk
them.
has been shot. Someone who was in the debate with him at the time. It happened informed me that he's not okay. Reports that he was hit
Somebody said that.
at the center. We
somebody
have our
announced that
differences, but
Charlie
this is
Kirk's
not the
family said
answer.
He, had passed.
He has 2 children and a wife.
I don't know if that's confirmed.
Charlie Kirk feared dead after video released.
I'm not accepting this.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'll be honest with you. I've seen a lot of gunshot victims. That one doesn't look good at all. Yeah.
Yeah, a few of the notifications told me that he's gone. I don't have confirmation on that, but that's what a few people are saying. I have to check what happened afterward because I have not seen any video. I just got like about 3 or 4 Discord pings saying that he's gone or he's been shot. So all we can do now right now is pray.
Yeah.
For his family.
If you guys are within the reach of the sound of my voice, yeah, definitely pray for Charlie Kirk for God's healing hand. I'm looking it up. It says he's been shot. I don't see anything saying one way or another whether he lived or not. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Yeah, we're gonna have to pray for Charlie Kirk. I'm going to at this point shut the I'm gonna shut it down. I'm gonna shut down all guests. I'm not taking any more guests. I am not going to take any more guests on YouTube or TikTok. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and pray for Charlie. We're gonna pray for his family. I think it was him. What? I'm not sure what this video is that my daughter sent me. It looks like, I don't know. It looks like they were just trying to, yeah, I don't know what that is. Yeah, I can tell you what ended up happening. I'll describe it for you guys. Thank you, Watson Walker, for the super chat, man. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, without Liza Islam, that's for sure. At this point, I don't think that matters anymore. Yeah, Charlie Kirk has been shot. I'm gonna share the screen with you guys. I can tell you that the way the bullet hit him, the way that his body locked up, it looked, it had to have been. It looked like a sniper caliber. Of course, I'm speculating. From what I saw from a very grainy video, Charlie Kirk shot in Utah. I'm gonna click here because they're not gonna show it
people
anyway.
trying to crowd toward the small place to the door, and it just occurred to me that there's a good chance of people trampling each other. And
so here, I'm gonna go back a little bit.
that was really my bigger concern.
So what happened was he was talking right here, and then right here on this side of the neck, as soon as he put the microphone down, a bullet hit him and his body immediately locked up. Now that, again, doesn't necessarily mean that he's gone, guys. But like I said, I can tell you from experience that that's almost never a good thing. I mean, here's the thing. People have taken gunshot wounds even to their cranium and lived. But it is very rare. In the neck is just as bad. But yeah, Lawful Good AW says reports say 200 yards shot. Yeah, it looked like it was from far. It would have had to have been, because I know that his events are vetted by security and they want those people to make sure there's no weapons. I'm not gonna we're not gonna speculate as to what's going on, as to who it was. It is what it is. But I don't see anything new that he that was just that's I would assume, honestly, that he was probably aiming for his head, and it hit him in the neck. I've never really seen anyone who is a marksman aim for the neck. That's just how it is. But President Donald Trump and a host of Republican and Democrat elected officials decreed the shooting and offered prayers for Kirk on social media. We must all pray for Charlie Kirk, who has been shot. A great guy from top to bottom. God bless him. Trump posted on Truth Social. Yeah,
I found the source that people are saying where he died. I don't know how accurate it is. I'll send it here in the side chat.
All right, yeah, let me know. Yeah, for sure. It's on Telegram. Okay, view on Telegram. Oh, it's not opening. So yeah, it's not opening. But that was from a Telegram thread or something. Grafted.
Yeah, it looks like it's no, it's Young Christian initiated, but yeah, it seems like it's a Telegram group update or something.
Yeah.
That's so horrible.
It's yeah. Yeah, it is.
I mean, wasn't this like a campus? That's
on Utah.
It's not safe. And it's not even safe out there.
No, it's not. There's a thing that you guys have to understand about the United States of America is that you're not safe anymore anywhere. And I've been saying this for a long time. You're very unsafe. And numbers support this. When you live in areas, especially, and Utah is a very red state, very Republican. But that doesn't mean that people who disagree with him, ideologically, won't follow him. Right? That's unfortunate. And there's people in states that this is the kind of thing that they think is, for people to shoot a conservative, to them that's okay, right? Even though they are the people who oppose him are the ones who are always accusing the other side of hate and bigotry. But here you are, opening fire and striking people in the neck. So yeah, I don't know. I did see that copy that you gave me, Grafted, before all this started. I'm going to save that. Follow live creator, follow live creator. Thank you guys so much for your follows. I appreciate it. Sad breaking news: Charlie Kirk was unalived. We don't know if that's confirmed yet, though. You know what? That came in earlier, and I didn't even notice it. But I don't know. It's not. I mean, here's the thing, though, guys. Even if he was, you have to remember that we won't know for a little bit, because even if he unfortunately lost his life, they won't say it publicly until the family has been consulted. We don't even know if his wife and his kids were there in Utah with him. So there are a lot of things through legality that have to happen first, because what ends up transpiring is that if, God forbid, he did succumb to his injuries, and then they release that, if you're his wife and his family and you hear about that on the news first, as opposed to the person who actually pronounced him, the physician that pronounces him, if you don't, if the family doesn't hear from that first, they have lawsuits galore, right? She would become, not that it would matter to her, but she would be entitled to lots of compensation. I mean, for obvious reasons, right? So there's a lot of legality to that, into, you know, how families are informed and it not being through the press. Yeah, I mean, you guys go ahead and talk. I don't even know what to say right now. I'm just so disgusted with people.
I don't even have any comments. I think we just need to pray.
Yeah.
I think what happened kind of speaks for itself there, right? It shows, and I'm not saying this is all liberals. Like, there are genuine people that are good to talk to, but it shows the hatred of a certain number of them that they don't live by their motto of tolerance and these are bigots, right? If you have so much hate for someone that you have to go out of your way to find, I don't know where the heck he got the sniper. I don't know where the heck he was, but he had to plan that out. Obviously, that wasn't an easy kill.
Yeah.
If there's security, he obviously had to go out of his way to formulate a plan, get all the necessary equipment just to end someone's life. And unfortunately, that's the reality of this world. Is there are going to be people like that,
right?
I mean, so all we can do right now is pray, and not just pray for him and his family, but pray for, as hard as it is, for the shooter. Because reality is that's a soul right there that is in bondage to Satan and needs to be freed by the Holy Spirit.
Yep. Yeah, I got somebody else on TikTok saying Charlie Kirk passed away. I don't see any of that. Yeah, I don't see that.
They might have seen that one source that I sent and just assumed,
right,
without looking into it. So, I mean, I think.
Do you know what's crazy? I actually today on my algorithm saw a clip of Charlie Kirk like having a talk at a university, and like a liberal woman was challenging why he's there, and he said like there is violence towards us. We are being subjugated and oppressed. Like, and she was confused. She was like, she basically brushed him off because she was like, but you're the conservative. You can't possibly be the victim.
Right.
And that was today.
Right.
I was just working and it was in the background. Like it's not even irony. It's just like that came rushing back as soon as you said he was shot. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what, guys? Here's the thing, man. A young Christian hit it right on the head, man. You and this even though it's off topic, no, it's not off topic, but it's on the topic of prayer. Is that I remember when the October 7th event happened in Israel, and I remember praying for the families and hearing about the atrocities that were taking place in Israel against, people of all kinds, especially babies and the elderly. And I remember praying for them. And I remember one of the hardest things I ever had to do was stop and start praying for the people in Hamas, right? Because even though I detest them as a man, and I would not want to be locked in a room with any one of them, because I know that it would be almost impossible for me not to give into the flesh. But, I still had to pray for them, because at the end of the day, as much as we don't like to admit it as Christians, Jesus's sacrifice was for them as much as it was for us, right? And as for the shooter of Charlie Kirk, and as for all people that we disagree with, for all Muslims, for everybody, right? He's a horrible person, but I don't wish death upon anyone. I'm not sure who you're referring to, and I don't even know your name is not popping up here. I just see a bunch of Warped TV. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can like I said, you can disagree. Charlie Kirk is, yeah. I mean, if you don't like what he stands for, that's fine. But you know what? I think that people who run abortion clinics are the most detestable people on earth. I would never wish anything bad upon them, right? I mean, that's just we all have our subjective opinions about the way people are and how they are, but it doesn't mean for a second that that any harm should come upon them, and it definitely doesn't mean that anybody should be trying to harm anyone else, right? That's not something that I tolerate here. That's not something that you will never see me perpetuating. Yeah, exactly right. At the end of the day, we will all take it up with God, 100%. We will all receive it. We will all, take. But I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything official, right? I'm not. My thing is that in Young Christian, I'm not in no way am I trying to poop on the source you gave. I'm just saying that I don't. You know what I'm saying. I've seen a lot of people who come, through little groups or whatever, and they probably are saying that because it looked bad. I don't know if you guys saw the video. I don't know if you watched it, but it looks. It doesn't look good. I have seen that, unfortunately, numerous times throughout my adult life. I've seen it in person. I've seen the aftermath. I've been on those scenes, and very, very rarely, out of probably hundreds of times that I've seen that now, very rarely does a wound like that turn into something that is recoverable. And I'm not saying it's not. We don't know. For all we know, it could have just caused it. There's lots of bleeding doesn't necessarily mean, that you will succumb to your injuries. But the neck, guys, there are just so many veins and arteries running through your neck. And there's a reason why things are not supposed to be, bursting into your neck like that. So, Charlie Kirk's been shot, ladies and gentlemen. I don't, it puts a lot of things into perspective. We can have lots of conversations with our Muslim brothers and sisters. You guys, here, I'm going to end that portion of the stream right now with this. We're all here trying to get the truth out, and people like young Christian. I'm so sorry. Young Christian, Grafted, George, myself. We know the truth because Jesus Christ has opened it up to us, right? And the book of Corinthians talks about people who are spiritually discerned. We can have these debates all we want. Look, we have my video who is up, and Young Christian, you saw, Grafted, you saw it. How many Christians were in there laughing at the insinuation that I conceded the Islamic dilemma? Then he uploads the exact same video on his side, and you have any number of Muslims saying that I conceded the Islamic dilemma. People are going to see things the way that they want, but we have to put things into perspective, ladies and gentlemen. And the fact of the matter is that no matter what, we are to love each other the way that Jesus commanded us to. And, this stuff is just inexcusable. We can have heated debates. We can have conversations about silliness, right? Which that's all this is in compare. When you're talking about somebody's life, all this is silliness. I don't give a damn, right? If God were to tell me you're never going to have another debate and it could save someone's life from this kind of nonsense, even though I wouldn't like it, I would happily agree if it means that I could save someone's life, especially Charlie Kirk. Grafted, do you want to lead us in prayer? Would you mind?
Sure.
Thank you.
Lord and Heavenly Father, thank you for this day you've made. Thank you for your mercies upon our lives, which are new every morning. Heavenly Father, darling Son of Heaven and Holy Spirit, we come appealing to you. We come asking not just as our prayer, but for your intercession as well. Lord, that you will take Charlie Kirk and his family in your hands tonight. That even the shooter who was captured, Lord, that you will have mercy upon their lives. Lord, I know that many people are in stress. There's so much anxiety right now about what's going on, Lord, but we also know that we can trust in you. Lord, let your will be done is all we ask, Father. And Lord, if it is today that it's his day, then Lord, let him join you in heaven. Save his soul. Lord, if it is not his day, Father, I pray for miraculous recovery. I pray for a Charlie Kirk to come back stronger, Lord, than what he was when he was shot today. Father, I pray that this doesn't dissuade voices, Lord, that this doesn't dissuade the truth from coming out. At the end of the day, that's what we stand for. I pray that you will bless him, touch his family right now. Give them strength, give them assurance, give them provision, give them sanity, and also, Lord, in time, give them peace in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Brother Grafted, for that. Yeah, I mean, At this point, Rising Sunshine says things might not go Charlie's way. It was a nasty blow. Yeah, all we can do is pray, man. It doesn't matter what we think may or may not happen. What matters is, what God's will actually is, right? Doesn't, there's people who have survived injuries that most people are not even aware are survivable. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
If I could touch on that.
Yes, please.
Let me word it like this, right? If it's God's will for Charlie Kirk to live, then God is going to demonstrate his power in Charlie Kirk by letting him live.
Right.
If it is his will for Charlie to go, then he's going home.
Right.
Assuming he's a true Christian, which I believe he's a true Christian.
Right.
So he's going home. Either way, God is glorified.
Right.
Even through the evil. And I know it's a heavy subject on, evil, but the fact of the matter is God, even through evil, uses it to glorify himself. So
right.
we can't have hope as Christians that either whatever happens, it is in God's will and it's a good decision that he's going to make.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What's funny is that, and that's the thing, is that people who are on both sides are speaking out against this. I just, I don't get it. My thing is, when you do stuff like this, in my experience, to be that shooter, you have to be ignorant of all of history. You guys both know what happens throughout pretty much all of human history when you martyr somebody, right? You know what happens when you turn somebody into a martyr. If that man doesn't live, you just created 1,000 more in his place. Because people are now going to look at that and say, I dare you to try it with me. And I'm one of those people, right? Especially when you're such a coward that you have to, you got to sit 200 yards away because right? You just, I just, that kind of cowardly action to me is, it is what it is, man. God have mercy on your soul. I don't even know what else to say. It's terrible, man. It's terrible, and I feel really bad for everybody involved, not just Charlie and his family, but this guy, because this guy literally just you ended the rest of your life. And if Charlie Kirk loses his life, Utah is a capital punishment state. So you're essentially going to end up in death row. There's nobody who's going to perch up from 200 yards away from a sniper shot and get second-degree homicide. That's first degree. It's premeditated. So no matter what, yeah, you're screwed. You're screwed. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see what they're saying on other. I don't see anything on Google yet. No, that's not to say that. I mean, Charlie Kirk shot. This Dave Rubin is talking about it.
He started doing one of his amazing things with his hands and the whole thing, and he was talking about some biblical imagery, and he was describing something, but he couldn't remember all of the images that he was trying to elaborate on. And suddenly we heard sort of like a crash and a scream in the back, and then there was all this commotion, and we saw someone running to the stage who, as he approached the stage, got tackled, and his phone kind of went flying. This might be on video somewhere. His phone kind of went flying to the stage, and Jordan saw it. And I kind of froze. Like, I didn't know what was happening. I had no idea what was happening with someone coming to attack us or God knows what. I had no idea. And Jordan calmly, in a way that probably only Jordan could do, Jordan calmly, he looked at the phone for a second. And it turned out that the guy was a young guy. And I saw the guy. Once they tackled him, I saw him, and he just looked dazed. Like, he was like a young guy. He didn't look crazy. He just looked like dazed in his eyes. It turns out that the guy actually remembered what the biblical passage that Jordan was talking about, and he had pulled up an image on Google. And then obviously had like a little out-of-body experience. He was not trying to hurt anybody. He literally wanted to help Jordan. But when that happened, Tammy and David were sitting in the fifth row.
Okay, so he's not really talking about that. He's talking about something else, I guess, that happened in the past. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Charlie Kirk hands out L's at the University of California, San Diego. Yeah, it's talking about him being shot. I'm not gonna show the video, guys. It's my every single social media platform would definitely take it down. If you want to see it, it's available on X. I'm not encouraging anyone to go see it. If you are squeamish, if you are one of those people who is easily upset, if blood upsets you or makes you nauseous, please don't watch it. If you are a person who's never seen someone be injured by a gunshot wound or a stabbing, please do not go watch it. You know, I know that there is a morbid curiosity in all of us, but I'm telling you, the video, to watch another human being be injured in that way, it's if you're not used to it, it's gonna stick with you. Believe me. Videos capture horrifying moment. I highly doubt the New York Post would show this. I hope that they wouldn't. I'm gonna leave it. Okay, yeah, they blurred it out. Okay, so I'll show this one because it's blurred out, ladies and gentlemen, but viewer discretion heavily advised. It is a 61-second video. It is blurred out.
Counting or not counting gang violence?
So right as soon as he said gang violence and he put his microphone down, the guy opened fire.
We're not counting gang violence.
Oh my God. Cody, go, run.
Oh. Counting or not counting gang violence?
What the fuck?
So this is, I'm not going to hide his face. This is him. I don't know anything about him. Maybe he did it because he's old already and he knows that by the time he gets on death row, he'll probably be dead anyway because he looks like he's 475 years old. I don't know.
You guys okay?
I think needs to be mentioned also. Pray that no one else got hurt.
Right.
Right. I mean, that guy, who knows, he maybe wanted to kill more people. So just pray no one else got hurt. Then obviously everyone's running.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah. And you know, I want to say that the Lord has put something upon my heart right now to say to everybody out there, especially my Muslim brothers and sisters. I know you guys don't like me, and for the most part, I don't like the way that you guys do things. But I would never in a million years wish harm or death upon a single one of you. Not to Libiano, not to Dean Responds, not to the Muslim Apologetic. There is a respect for you guys as content creators. There is a respect for you guys more than that as human beings and brothers and sisters in Christ. We may talk past each other a lot. You guys may think that I crash out. You guys may think I'm overly aggressive. But at the end of the day, that's who I am. That's what my personality is. Having said that, I pray from now and before and every single day after that you guys are safe, that no harm come to anyone for any ideological purpose or at all. And I want to make that abundantly clear to my Muslim brothers and sisters that you guys are always. If I saw you hungry on the street, I would feed you, right? And my heart breaks to think that this is the kind of stuff that we have to come to as human beings to do to one another, especially over something like ideological differences. It's absolutely inexcusable. And I promise to God, hand before God, as a father of all my children, that if I pray to God, and I'm speaking to all Christians, conservatives, and anybody out there who stands even remotely oppressed to the progressive ideology, do not retaliate. I'm begging you. For anyone within the sound of my voice, please do not get up and decide that you're going to find the nearest what you think is a liberal or progressive and retaliate. Please do not. Because you're not helping the situation. You're becoming what Jesus would call a stumbling block. Don't do it. Keep your hands to yourselves. Keep your temptations quenched. Go to the damn gym, work out. I don't care what you do. Do not retaliate, because no matter what you do, you are not going to be doing it to anybody who was even involved in this. Ladies and gentlemen, Christians, conservatives, Muslims, whatever, because I know there's Muslims out there who love Charlie Kirk too. Keep your hands to yourself. Let the justice system take its course. The guy's already in custody. Leave it alone and let God be. Do not take it into your own hands. Do not take justice into your own hands. The Bible talks about this. Do not take vengeance into your own hands, for vengeance belongs to God. Don't do it. I'm begging you guys. I know that my following's not that big. I know we don't have that many viewers right now. I don't care about that. Do not do it, please.
I want to say also one more thing that
Yeah.
I've been thinking about. Sorry if you heard a little bit of noise. That was my mom.
No, you're fine.
But yeah. So, I've been reading for the first time St. Augustine's City of God, and there's a question that pops up in there: is where is your God in the face of, persecution, suffering?
Right.
And the way he answers it is, where are your gods? Remember, he's talking to Romans in that context. So,
yep.
The fact is, the non-Christian doesn't have, whether it's a pagan, Muslim, right? They do not have because they do not believe in the true God. So there is no one with them. And I don't say this to make this argument here or debate, because this is not the time for that.
Right.
I'm trying to say here that
I'm following.
as a Christian,
yeah, I'm following you. Yep.
Right? Charlie Kirk, as a Christian, even though God let that happen, there is a reason behind it.
Mm-hmm.
God is not like God left him.
Right.
You can't just simply assume that.
Right.
God, and I believe he goes on to say, I forget the exact wording, but he talks about how God will, I think he says, show our strength or strengthen us, something along those lines.
Right.
And so ultimately, if there are people that are asking that question, whether it's the atheists or the Christian, where is God in this? He is right there.
Mm-hmm.
He's working.
Yeah.
It might not be clear, but he's working.
Yeah. Amen.
And I wanted to share that, because that's actually, when I read that like a few days ago, I found that really cool, the way St. Augustine explains it.
Yeah.
They're gonna be burning in hell. The fucking racists are dead. Ooh. They burning in hell now. His mother's single kids. Ooh. Let's keep it up, guys. Let's shoot more conservatives.
Yeah, you could try.
Kill all the white
As a matter of fact, I want you to try.
Let's go.
But I'll pray for you, brother. I'll pray for you. You have a few demons in you. I don't. Yeah, this is I'm glad. I'm glad people show their true colors, but I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you turn this into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about, but pray for that guy, by the way, too.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I pray for him. Celebrezzy on TikTok. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
As I was saying, right. I wanted to share that because I think that's something some people might be asking, and I wanted to talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Not to stir up debate, just to kind of
Yeah, of course, no. I agree. 100. You guys are welcome. I trust you guys. That's it. Oh, Grafted, I got your message on Discord too. I know you had said you had said last week or the week before too that you needed to get back to working on your stuff. But I know sometimes you hear what's going on here and you just can't resist. I don't blame you.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
Exactly what happens. I just can't resist. I hear something out of pocket and I'm like, I'm coming up.
I actually almost always expect you to be here, even though you say not because I feel like he better be here, but like sometimes when people start talking, I'm like, Grafted's not here. If he hears this, I can almost guarantee he's gonna be here.
Did we just lose Maverick?
No, I'm here. You guys can't hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. For some reason, you just disappeared. It was just young Christian on my screen.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. No, you're good. You're good. I think it's a video ninja thing. Let's see the rest of this real quick.
Apparently, he's been shooting. I don't know who's been shot. We have a Utah Valley State University.
Scraps, you're right. He has a family, but you got to remember, people like that, people like Celebrezzy don't care. You have to understand that since the time of the earliest humans, there are people who are soulless and are literally consumed by demonic forces, and they think that they're funny, they think they're whatever, and they think that people are afraid of them. Yeah, I'm going to shoot more conservatives. The dude probably has never even shot a BB gun, but it is what it is.
it's
I don't know if that was
so
shots or if that was
sad
fireworks.
because it just shows like the dehumanization.
Yeah.
Like it's not just I have something against Charlie Kirk. I'm glad we're rid of him. It's like no, let's do more people, and it's like you've it's the classic like you dehumanize a group so they can just be killed, and like this is how those regimes have all started, always with that like toxic mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And we should also just pray that God removes such vile thinking.
Yeah. Amen. Amen.
Yeah, I would also say just don't engage the trolls. Just block them or report
No,
them,
yeah, he's
whatever.
blocked. Yeah, he's blocked. Well, the thing was, he hadn't said anything in chat. He requested, so I didn't know if he was gonna like. I'm trying to be kind and bring people up who, I heard this, I heard that, and I don't know if it's another Christian. You can't always tell by the profile picture of the name. His name was Celebrezzi, so I don't, you know what I mean. So when I brought him up, he started saying that right away. So I kicked him in and I blocked him because I'm not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah. So I mean, and then that wasn't just to you. It was like just in general to people.
No,
there's like anytime there's going to be trolls. Like for example, when Dr. John MacArthur passed away, there were a few of those rabid anti-Calvinists, and I mean, I don't know how all of us stand here on soteriology, but it really doesn't matter,
right? Because
when he passed away, right, that's a delicate moment for some people that followed him, his family, right? And that's not the time to say he's burning in hell or whatever,
right?
That's a time to just, and then if you want to offer your thoughts on that, month away, 2 months away, feel free, but you got to give time for just mourning. And so I would say just don't engage the trolls. If they let them do what they're going to do. It's ultimately God is the judge. If they don't repent, good luck. I can only just let you know you need to repent. Oops. So yeah.
Just remember, ladies and gentlemen, and I firmly believe this, and I know this to be true. Oh, hang on, we got a gift on TikTok from Angel Eyes. Thank you so much, Angel Eyes, for the diamond. Or no, what is this? Hold on, let me see what it is. I'm still learning the gift system on TikTok, guys. Oh, for the bolt. Thank you so much for the lightning bolt, Angel Eyes. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Yeah, you know what? I will tell you that kind of depravity, you will be met with tenfold if you don't repent, right? And it's like when you sit there and you laugh at things like this and you talk about things like this and you think, I think to me, the most ironic thing behind what's going on with people like that is that they're actually laughing and celebrating as if they're doing so under the guise of superior morality, right? Oh, it's okay because he's racist or he's a conservative or he's this and he's that. So that's okay, right? But now imagine if the shoe was on the other foot, right? Imagine if that was a conservative saying that about somebody who was an abortion advocate or a homosexual person. Could you imagine the outrage that person would be met with? But when people like that do it, it's okay because, you got the media on their side and things like that. But yeah, absolutely disgusting and doesn't surprise me at all. I don't see anything new. It just says that he was shot. I don't see anything new, guys. I don't see. Thank you. Ooh, we got a new member. Welcome to the Cross Unit Limiter. Appreciate you, man. God bless you. Thank you so much for joining the family, man. Thank you for buying a membership, man. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you.
I think the sources that are saying that he's dead are coming from X, because I'm just kind of glancing at Discord every now and then, and a few people are sending something that's saying, "Oh, he's dead," but it's on X. So
yeah,
it could be just like people's reaction saying that he's definitely dead. So I think we just gotta wait right now.
Yeah, I mean that's all we can do, guys. We can keep talking about it. We can disavow this. We can do everything that we need to do, but at the end of the day, the actual PBC Copium on TikTok. What's going on, Copium? How are you doing today, brother?
Yes, Maverick, you slag, right? You dickhead, mate. You absolute fucking prick. You little clap bastard, mate. You ugly fucking dick.
Well, congratulations. Wow.
Did you just let Shrek up on the stream?
It's some dude named PBC Copium. He's a Muslim. I thought he was just gonna come and talk about whatever. But this is typical Muslims. He doesn't.
Okay, I mean, it sounded like Shrek before puberty or something.
Yeah, for sure. Jalisco 408, thank you so much for following on TikTok. I appreciate it. Thank you for the hearts, guys. Thank you. Listen, thank you guys all so much, man. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate all the support even right now. If you guys are here on YouTube, please don't forget to smash the like button. Hit those hearts on TikTok and on Rumble, please don't forget to like. I appreciate you guys. Witness says he saw Charlie Kirk go limp after being struck by. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Many people go limp after getting hit by a bullet. That's not abnormal. 1 hour ago, this guy from...
I'm at the Charlie Kirk event at UVU where apparently Charlie Kirk was just shot in the neck, we're being told. I talked to 2 eyewitnesses as well as a third who are saying that he has been shot. Right after, people started running and screaming. I estimate a crowd of maybe 2,000 or 3,000 were here. It's been a bit chaotic. I'm at the Charlie Kirk.
So kind of stuff we already knew. Conservative, political, and I mean, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say, so for people that genuinely think this is a good thing, just remember there's also liberals there that could also easily
have been hit.
The guy, he can easily just miss a shot. Things like that, right? Other people that aren't conservative can get hurt.
Yep.
So what you're advocating for is to risk other innocent bystanders' lives just because you want to end somebody who you think is racist. And you're free to believe that. It's a free country, but you really want to risk other people's lives just because you hate this one person? Like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely didn't think I would be stopping debates today to do this, but I just man, my heart bleeds for his family. He's a family man. Here's the thing, guys, and I will say this. Disciple of Jesus, left or right, this is not okay. Absolutely right. And disciple, any Christian who's in anybody, or even if you're a Muslim, whatever, if you want to join in, crossunit.live crossunit.net/call or just request up. We got another gift up here, it looks like. Yeah, Jalisco sent me a heart. Thank you so much, Jalisco, for the heart on TikTok. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so very much, man. I appreciate you. Scouse Revert, what's going on, man? I don't know if you're here to debate. We are not debating right now. We're talking about some serious events. So if you're here to debate, that's gonna have to be another day.
No, brother. I just to be honest, I just jumped on. I seen the live stream. I seen the thumbnails. You with your arms crossed, Muslims, see the debate, and then I seen underneath that it said live Charlie Kirk shotman. So, prayers for his family and stuff. Because whether I agree with the man's views or not, doesn't mean I wish death on anybody. You got me?
Correct. Honestly, guys, if and this is obviously, this is hypothetical, and in God's name it will stay hypothetical. If God forbid I found out that, like, let's say Muhammad Hijab or Ali Dawa or Sheikh Uthman or anybody had been hurt by or Scouse Revert, and something like this had happened, I would be infuriated. That here's the thing. We are here to speak to one another as human beings. We're supposed to love one another as human beings, right? And especially for you Christians and conservatives, I don't feel like, unless you're defending yourself, violence should ever be necessary, right? And regardless of your ideological standpoint, Jesus Christ, Charlie Kirk has openly declared Jesus Christ many times as his Lord and Savior in very public settings in front of countless thousands, probably millions of people at this point. So at the end of the day, guys, if in the flesh this turns into the worst possible scenario, understand that Charlie Kirk did what Jesus wanted him to do. Now, I cannot speak to his personal life and what goes on behind closed doors, but I do know that Charlie Kirk is a Jesus Christ loving Christian. He has stated so many times, and that's the basis upon which he makes his very conservative arguments, because nobody can look at the Bible and say that it is a liberal document, okay? Obviously, God says, I am the same today as I was yesterday as I will be tomorrow, right? And his morality and his commandments do not change. I know Muslims feel the same way, right? Muslims are very intolerant of people trying to come in with progressive values and changing everything, and as well it should be. You should not allow people to make you feel like the commandments that God has written upon your heart are now things of the past. That is one thing that I know that Muslims and Christians share. But this is absolutely insane, guys.
Yeah, and
if
if
sure.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Sorry, young Christian. I just want to add something to that, because I think it's in moments like this that we can see, or that we can come together despite our differences. You know, we might have theological differences, or there are some core beliefs that really tie us together. And for me, I feel like this is one of the issues with Western society. Not to be, I mean, I live in the West myself, but you know, with Western nations becoming secular and moving away from whichever theology their society used to be run by, you know, it's leading to things like this. You know, in America, just over the past couple of weeks, you know, there was another school shooting, and I might not necessarily agree with Christian theology, but at the same time, I would prefer whatever country you're in, whether it be America or South Africa, whatever, to at least be adherent to Christian beliefs, because it is still at least better than the liberal way of life and
Amen.
what it's leading to.
Yeah.
In terms of like Charlie being shot, man.
Amen. Right here, this is the first that I've seen about his condition. This is 3 hours old now, and in terms of news like this, guys, that's an eternity. This is from Variety.com. It says conservative activist and Trump supporter Charlie Kirk. You know, this is what disgusts me about media. Conservative activist and Trump supporter. What the hell does it matter if he's a Trump supporter, especially in this context? This is why people say what they say about American media, because even during a travesty like this, they have to throw in that he's a Trump supporter. What the hell does it matter? Do you think that if this was the other side of the coin, people would say liberal activist and Kamala supporter? No, they would just give the person the name and they would treat them like a human being. And this is exactly what Anyways, Charlie Kirk was shot during a debate at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah, around 12:10 p.m. AP News reported Wednesday he's in critical condition and the suspect is in custody. So that, you know, this is the first I'm actually seeing even about his condition. I haven't seen that anywhere else. What we know currently is that Charlie Kirk was about 20 minutes into his presentation when we heard shots fired from a nearby building, and to the best of our knowledge, he was hit and taken with his security team away from the premises, and the courtyard was cleared. A UVU spokeswoman told CNBC. So yeah, I don't. Dude, this is yeah.
And I mean, here's the thing about introducing him like that. I understand if you want to make a brief introduction, but you know, you can see. I guess you could see why, like, just labeling him. Yeah. By the way, he's a Trump supporter. Like, there probably is a reason why they just have to mention Trump supporter.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to say like conservative debate or whatever, fine. You know, if people don't know who he is,
right?
But like, I don't know.
Yeah, and you know, to me, and having my experience with the media as I do, especially American media, I can tell you that you would have thought after Trump winning that it would have gotten better, but it hasn't. When people from Variety and other mainstream media, I'll just call them mainstream media, when they report stuff like that, to me, it's almost like they're kind of almost giving an excuse. Oh yeah, well yeah, this happened because he's a Trump supporter. That's what I read into it. Now I could be wrong. That's just my subjective opinion, right? But essentially, that's what I feel like they're doing. Because if he was a Kamala supporter, they would never even mention that. But he's a Trump supporter, so of course it has to be thrown in there, right? Almost like they kind of want to remove the empathy from the guy. It's so disgusting.
You know, I mean, it's something I didn't even consider. We don't even know the motives of the person
right
I was shooting. Like, it could be a liberal. It could be just a guy that was insane.
Right.
Well, we know he's insane, but what I mean is like, that's his sole reason for shooting him. That's just because he's insane. So I mean, this doesn't need to be about.
I don't know, Tyrone. I don't know if he's alive. I'm sorry, Tyrone Wiggins asking that. We don't know. I'm sure that whether one way or another, here's the issue with it, and this is gonna sound strange, but if he is okay, it's gonna take us longer to find out. If he passes away, we'll find out a lot faster. I don't know if that answers your question or not, but we don't know, right? Because technically, let's say, right, even when there's brain death or whatever, but he's not like, if he hasn't been pronounced, they won't say it. So there's a lot of, I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm just saying there are any number of possibilities, and they're all on the table right now. The abandoned one says, take all politics out of the situation, and this was strictly they want him quiet. I agree. Yeah, Ricky is requesting up on TikTok.
Just so you know, Maverick Weathers the Way is also here on the panel. I don't know if he's muted though.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for letting me know. What up, word? What's going on, Ricky? How you doing, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yeah. So it's all over Twitter right now, and Turning Point USA just announced that he's alive in stable condition.
Really?
Yes. So he's alive right now.
In stable condition.
The condition is like unknown because it's like very mixed. But they're on the Turning Point USA on ABC, they just announced that he's alive. So that's all we know so far.
Well, thank God for that. And that's what I just alluded to, is that when they're alive but the condition is unknown, it takes longer to find out.
It's been about an hour.
Right. It's if they pass away, you usually find out, faster, right? It was like with when Paul Walker passed away, right? Everybody was up in the air about whether he was still alive or not. And then I think like an hour into it, everybody was like, yeah, he's gone. Charlie Kirk got shot about a little over 3 hours ago now for my estimate. I could be wrong. But thank you for that update, Ricky. I appreciate that, because I haven't found anything. We've been on YouTube refreshing every 2-3 minutes, and I haven't. Charlie Kirk, you said it was ABC that reported it?
But yeah, I think it was ABC that I had seen on X. It's on Twitter, so a lot of it will be there. You have to just It's gonna depend. You don't know what's real at all. So we're gonna have to probably wait a couple of hours until we actually find out, what's actually true and what's not.
I agree. And Abandoned One is in the chat right now saying CBS said RIP, so this is conflicting. And that's unfortunately, let me see. I don't know, because I saw from CBS and I didn't see that they said CBS report on Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, we won't know for a while.
Yeah, CBS News, Charlie Kirk shooting witness says he saw blood pouring out everywhere. That's true. I did see it. Charlie Kirk shot at Utah campus event, suspect in custody. Early details on shooting of Charlie Kirk, special report. That was 37 minutes ago, an hour ago, 25. What we know about suspect in custody.
I don't believe that suspect is the person that killed him, because if you look at the video closely when he's getting taken away, you can actually hear, or you can actually see and hear him say that the officer said that he was just claiming, so it was just a claim by someone. And I mean, like the John F. Kennedy incident, there are people that claim that they killed him, and we really will never know, until we actually get announced.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything official yet, but we're just hoping that he's in good condition right now, or stable.
Here's the thing, guys. Getting hit in the neck is not necessarily fatal, but can be very fatal very quickly, right?
Oh yeah.
That's the problem. We got another guest up here also.
It will take about a couple seconds to die, but I mean, if you look at the video, you'll see that. I mean, they rush, like they're right on top of him. So
I saw it. I mean, I can't show it on YouTube and Rumble, and I don't show almost any screen sharing on TikTok, not because I don't love you guys, but the handful of times I did it, TikTok Live Studio right away tells me that my live gets restricted because there's unoriginal content. So as soon as I do it, I get restricted, which is pointless because then it's like, okay, well, I can't show you guys anything. I can't go over any other the debates, whatever. The only thing I can probably show comfortably on TikTok is my debate briefs, the PDFs, and that's it. Any screen sharing right away. I even had to run sound a different way just for this app, so that the background music doesn't get, just because of that. Because I got so sick of that.
Well, in all fairness, that is something really graphic. I've seen
It is graphic, yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember, not to really pivot too much, but years ago there was this incident in the Bronx in New York where this 15-year-old kid was attacked by some gangsters, and they just brutalized this kid. They attacked him with a machete and knives.
Yeah, I remember
and he was
that.
stabbed in the neck.
Yeah, I remember.
And
He was able to
made the
run.
I made the mistake of seeing that, and it's something that traumatized me to this day. That was like almost like 8 years ago.
It's tough to watch, man. That stuff is, especially when it comes to younger people. Dude, I can tell you that coming home from work over throughout the years, there have been times where if it wasn't for my wife, I probably wouldn't be here now. Especially when you see the things that people do to children and babies. That to me is it never gets, with adults it's different, but when you see a child abused in any way, especially to the point where it costs them their life, those are things, man, that you don't unsee. It sticks with you forever.
And you know, it's so good that you said that about the children being born, because while I was thinking about this is, you know, I think some people are really in a bad state of mind, mentally and spiritually, if they really do want something like this to happen to someone. But he actually represents a view that says, okay, we should not abuse the unborn children, because that's something we don't talk about really too much.
Right.
And we're desensitized to it because it's not something that we actually visualize.
Right.
Now, in the United States of America, this debate about reproduction rights and things like that, which really is the right to abort, they even lie with the way they present the terminology or the name.
Mm-hmm.
How many of them, you know, daily, like somewhere right now, there's a child that may be aborted, and these are things that God is not going to take lightly.
Wait,
And
wait a
he's
second.
going to take it.
Hold on, I just got a
he's going
text
to take
message
it out
that
on a lot of people's hands.
I just got a text message from my boss saying that they pronounced him dead.
Oh Lord.
I don't hang on, let me ask where. I said, bro, Charlie Kirk got shot. He said, I saw he died. Someone announced him a few minutes ago.
I don't know. I'm gonna wait a couple of hours until I, really believe anything.
Yeah, me too, because I don't see anything. I still just see, even Yahoo, they're just saying that he was shot.
Yeah,
Yahoo News, Megyn Kelly says it'll be a miracle if Charlie Kirk survives. Yeah, it will be. That I agree with that.
It sucks, man, because I mean, to try to kill someone, or to want to kill someone, I see people that are happy of the fact that he was shot,
right,
because of political views, man. It's just so disturbed. Like, it's so, man, I just can't, my mind across it.
Yeah.
So like Brother Maverick was saying, they had to insert he's a Trump supporter.
Right.
Now that does go both ways, because
You guys go ahead and keep talking. I'm gonna go use the bathroom real quick.
On one end, it is kind of, to some people, it would imply like, okay, well, he's a Trump supporter, so he deserves it, because there's a large faction of people who dislike Trump and anyone who's associated with him. But then on the other hand, also the people who are staunch Trump supporters, it would elicit a response within those people as well. So this is actually lending to more tribalism, and it's a very divisive tactic.
Yeah, it's really.
I think.
Sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was just gonna say, word, like you hit the nail right on the head, right? This is rampant tribalism becoming more and more rampant, and it is actually leaning into what Scripture says will happen, that the love of many will grow cold. You know, tribalism is how that happens, because it's so easy to other one another and dehumanize one another and take joy in harm and take joy in death because that person is in the other camp. And like, these things should be appalling all of us. It's wild to me that people are happy about it.
Yeah, man. Honestly,
can I just lend to that as well? Just to say that, you know, the Quran, and I know you guys don't believe in the Quran, but you know, it says that God made us all different, you know, so we could get to know each other. You know, we're not all meant to agree on everything, and it's okay to disagree. But I think it's how we find common ground and how we can understand each other and get to know each other. And without being disrespectful to Charlie, just on a separate note, you know, the one thing that I struggle with sometimes is when these high-profile things happen. You know, it kind of takes away from the same thing that's happening, but to many other people in the world right now. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to devalue any of the experience that Charlie Kirk and his family are going through, because, as I said earlier, you know, send prayers for the family. But there are thousands of children, as Maverick was talking about before, that are being brutalized and murdered and blown to bits right now. And yeah, I think that as well should, as much as there is coverage on this, that coverage should also be there for all those other people.
Yeah. I don't know. I saw they're even showing the video on Instagram, which I'm very surprised by, because usually Instagram's content filter is pretty strong, but I've been kind of noticing in recent weeks and months that it's getting a little bit weaker. I'm seeing more and more graphic content on Instagram. I did see my supervisor did send me an Instagram. It was from a channel called OSINT Defense or something like that, and it says that he was pronounced. It's obviously hardly a news source. It could be just him saying it, because no one who would be considered quote unquote reputable that I see is saying that he is. I've heard both sides of the coin. Yeah, I don't see anything about his status.
Here's the problem I'm having. They're using the language pronounced dead. According to whom?
Right.
You?
Right,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
you you say pronounced dead when the doctor pronounces him dead. If you think that he won't survive it, then sure. I mean, that's I don't know how many people really think he's gonna survive unless God intervenes.
Right.
But you don't say pronounced dead unless he's actually been pronounced dead. I'm sorry if I'm crashing out here, but
no, it's true. Bro, you know what? We're not even going to worry about, that's something that I've been hearing out a lot more. It's like the minute that people, I almost feel like now, anytime anyone rebuttals something, no matter how calm you are, people say you're crashing out. Stop, guys, stop using idiotic terms, right? People disagreeing with you is not a crash out. Calling you out, whether you're lying or not, is not a crash out. Like, let's get back to the society where we can say things to each other as adults, right? Who contain a shred of maturity, and let's stop using terms like we're 13-year-old girls and 14, 15-year-old girls in high school, and let's get back to actually having conversations. Whether it's debate, whether it's just heated conversation, stop using idiotic terms. It's not a crash out, right? And that's the thing, is that just young Muslims saying it right there, for me, it's so apparent, right? That now, when people want to kind of discredit you or something you're saying, or something that you're saying contrary to what you believe, oh, he's crashing out. That's not crashing out. We're telling you the truth. If you don't like my tone or whatever, then that's a you thing. That's not a me thing, right?
Brother Maverick.
Yeah.
You called me young Muslim again.
Oh, I'm sorry, young Christian. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I keep saying that. I'm probably because I'm thinking about Muslims when I'm talking about you. That's why. As of now, Robert X on TikTok says, I hope everyone practices forgiveness for all involved, directly and indirectly. Yeah, Brother Grafted prayed, and he made an excellent point about praying for also the offender, which is true. Tyrone Wiggle. I just accepted Tyrone Wiggle. Tyrone Wiggle, you there?
Yeah.
What's up, man?
What's up?
Do you have anything to contribute?
Oh, I just wanted to say, I know I'm young, but I don't know why people think it's so funny that he got shot.
Mhm.
And he's kids too. It's
I agree.
It just makes it makes me sad.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of people sad, man. And that's kind of what I was talking about. Because that's the thing is that regardless of, Scouse and I have had debates on this channel probably at least 4 or 5 times already, right? There's obviously a lot that we disagree about. If I found out that somebody had hurt Scouse, especially because of his ideological beliefs, I would be disgusted and saddened beyond articulation, because if the point is for us to speak to one another and get the truth out to one another, how are we supposed to do that if we're hurting each other? Right? Exactly. I don't understand that. And we got Saif coming up. Guys, I'm not doing any debates right now. We're talking about the tragedy that just happened. So, you guys are welcome. But Saif, how are you?
Oh, Charlie Kirk is a dickhead, but he died. I'm happy.
These are the people we're talking about. Hang on, Ahmed Abri. 1 second, give me 1 second. Yo, what's up?
So,
the guy that shot Charlie Kirk, that chick shot was fucking insane. What did you see right in his neck?
Yeah, man, these people. Anyways, I would like to mention that Twitter right now just blocked all content on Charlie Clerk. So if you search it up, it's not gonna pop up for you.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. That usually happens. That's the same thing they did with with that poor Ukrainian refugee that was stabbed to death by that 14-time criminal. They took that off very quickly too, and of course they did, because it's very detrimental to the narrative of a lot of the mainstream media. So of course they don't want it up there. But you know what, guys, people are sick. But here's the thing: at the end, I'm glad that you guys hear those people, because they're not worth engaging, right? I'm gonna give people a voice. The minute you abuse the privilege, I'm going to boot you. I'm gonna remove you. But yeah, I have no respect for people like that, for sure.
Maverick, I'm gonna leave you guys in a second, but just before I go, because the people who've just come up, I mean, they sounded British to me. I'm not sure if they were Muslim or not, but just to say, if anyone is listening, we're not here to glorify someone's death, whether you agree with his political views, his theological views. As I mentioned to the guys before, if you are Muslim, you shouldn't be here celebrating that.
Right.
Quran tells us that God made us different so we could get to know each other. It says to come to Christians and speak to them in the best of ways. You know what I mean? Come to common ground. So it doesn't condone violence, and we're not here to glorify that violence either, whether it was perpetrated by someone who isn't Muslim or they were. So if anyone's listening to that, Muslim, not Muslim, don't come up here laughing and joking about that, man. That's not good.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you guys allowing me to be here with just, as I say, sending prayers to Charlie Kirk's family.
Yeah.
Whether I agree with his views or not. And God willing, next time I'll get to speak to you on a bit more better note.
Yeah, we'll try to be live on Friday. It'll be a little bit later, but there's Logan in TikTok is saying that he was pronounced. Some people are saying he is. Courtney said he's been pronounced. He's been pronounced that he lost his life. Logan saying the same thing. I don't know where they're getting it from. I'm refreshing here on the actual official ones. I don't see.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same stuff on Instagram that they're saying he's being pronounced, but nothing official.
Right.
Probably what's happening is there's one bad source and people are kind of repeating it because they didn't kind of double check. So it's just be careful what you read,
right,
guys. Don't.
It did look bad though. It did look bad. So I mean, yeah, as you said before, it probably would be a miracle if he came through. But
Oh,
as
yeah.
I said, I'll speak to you guys another day, and peace be with you all, man.
You too, brother.
Yes, yes, yes,
Apparently this is NBC News, and they are saying that it's true. Let's see.
That's NBC News.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. I didn't even read that. Wow.
No, they're live right now.
Often brings people across
Conservative
the
activist
political
Charlie
spectrum
Kirk dead after
together.
shooting at Utah
Charlie
event.
Kirk was a provocateur. He was someone who was fully engaged in all the modern tools of how you talk about politics and ideas in the United States. He did challenge his sort of political adversaries and those who were new to politics or those interested in politics to debate him. That was a core part of his political identity. He worked aggressively to galvanize young supporters, especially young white men, in the column for Donald Trump as a candidate and then returning to the White House. His access as a young man, 31 years old, to the president himself, the vice president, put him in an extraordinary category of the modern political influencer. Perhaps at no time in our country have we had someone who could come through not holding elective office, not having the traditional pathway, and yet carved out a voice and identity that, of course, brought many people along to his views, but also, because of the nature of politics, there were many who vigorously opposed his ideas, many traditional ideas, ideas that were often challenging to the political, cultural divides that are in the United States. Also notable, Tom, is that it is incredibly rare that the President of the United States would make a death announcement like this. Typically, we learn from law enforcement. We do so after we know all family members have been notified.
Yeah, Birdman, it
this
looks like he
speaks to
died.
the direct personal relationship between President Trump, his team, and Charlie Kirk, his wife, family, and so forth. So we have not yet had official confirmation beyond the president, as far as I know, in the moments I've been waiting to speak with you here. We've been reaching out to the highest levels of law enforcement. Also incredibly notable, at this point, we are not aware of any suspect being detained. When you saw the scene and the video that you showed gave us a sense of a very crowded campus environment. A tent largely for sun protection, not for security protection, but that would, of course, diminish some of the lines of sight, would give some ideas about where they might have been able to try to learn more about where did the gunshot come from, what direction, what are they learning. As we know, there was an older gentleman who was taken into custody, apparently not related to the violence itself, but this kind of thing happens at these chaotic events where police are trying to sweep up any kind of witnesses, information, people who might be able to help fill in the picture. So major questions remain. Who is responsible? Were there a person or persons involved? What were the motivations? All of that yet to be identified. We have been in a season of political violence, Tom. In Minnesota, we saw the lawmakers at the state legislative level who were killed along with a spouse, another lawmaker wounded along with a spouse. And we have seen these attempts, including on the life of President Trump. That is notable. Separately and unrelated, the trial is beginning, the jury selection phase for one of the assailants, Ryan Ruth, in the Florida case involving an attempt on the life of President Trump. And then, of course, the Butler case where the president was injured, but others were killed and severely injured. So in the case of Charlie Kirk, what a remarkable and tragic moment in our political life that someone who engaged, exercised his democratic rights, both encouraged and provoked those to share
know if they know for sure who did it
violence
yet.
has apparently taken his life, according to President Trump. Tom?
Yeah, you know, Kelly, we have covered politics, you and I, for a while now, and I don't know if we have seen, as you described it, a season of political violence like this, starting in Butler with the assassination attempt on President Trump that came so very close, just inches away, as we all saw in the photos and the video, and as the president has described, a second assassination attempt on his life. What happened just recently in Minnesota with those lawmakers assassinated literally on their front doorstep? And now you have Charlie Kirk, who was never elected, never held office, a political activist, a young man, now shot in cold blood in front of a very friendly crowd from the eyewitnesses we have spoken to. In a very sick type of irony, Charlie's group was called Turning Point because he thought there was a turning point now in politics with President Trump and where the Republican Party had gone. And Kelly, you wonder if now in his death, there may be a turning point when it comes to politics in this country. I mean, how will political activists, any type of political speech now, happen in America, right? When you have something like this happen in a place where someone thought he was speaking to a friendly crowd.
Well, certainly it was a largely friendly crowd. I mean, Utah, which is certainly conservative, a university-based, the kind of group of followers who would know who Charlie Kirk is right off the bat, a figure who lived on their phones and in their social media, ever present in those ways. We have seen over time when there are these wrenching moments of political violence, there are waves of what happens. Initially, there is the shock. There is bipartisan or across-the-spectrum condemnation of political violence. There are inevitably questions about the availability of guns and questions of security. Obviously, our elected senior leaders have intense security around them. But on a campus, a political actor like Charlie Kirk, you would have basic security, local law enforcement, campus police, that kind of thing. You would not have the kind of screening that would prevent weapons. We're also talking about an outdoor event where you could have long-range kind of ability to assess a situation on the part of a gunman or gunwoman, a shooter. And so there are so many questions to be filled out. But I think there will certainly be a moment to again address what is the place of violence. Are our politics so poisonous that people cannot control the impulse to act out? Those are societal issues. Right now, we're still in the early fact gathering. There'll be a period of acknowledging his life, those who will grieve his memory, and then what are the next steps?
Yeah, Kelly, stand by for us. I want to bring in former White House Deputy Press Secretary Hogan Gidley, a friend of Charlie Kirk, who was just texting with him yesterday, and he was on the House floor moments ago during a moment of silence. Hogan, first, I am so sorry for your loss. You knew Charlie. Talk to me about what you remember about him and what this moment means right now. It is so incredibly sad for those people that were close to Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, thanks, Tom, for having me. I remember working in the first Trump administration in the White House, and Charlie would come by, and we would all kind of look and say, "Who is this kid? What does he think he's doing? He's so ambitious, and he's so talented at this young age." And we all kind of gravitated toward him. We watched what he was doing with the youth across this country, not afraid to go into hostile areas and have a debate over ideas. No violence. Altercations other than verbal, because that's what the country is all about, disagreeing. And he built a brand, he built an entity, he built a movement based on the ability to come together and have these sensible, honest conversations with statistics, with data. And just watching him do that, it was just awe-inspiring for someone like me who's been in this movement for such a long time, and to watch him at such a young age be able to capture the hearts and minds of so many across the country really was a blessing to me. I will tell you, we were texting just the other day, as you mentioned. He was supposed to go speak at my alma mater at the end of October at Ole Miss, the University of Mississippi in Oxford, and I told him I saw that he was coming, and he knew I went there. He said, "Oh, you have to come to that. We're going to have a great time." And so I was trying to plan a trip down to Oxford to be with him. And now this happens today, and I'm so sad to think of his wife and his children who were left behind after this tragedy. But I'm also filled with rage to think someone would do something like this simply for disagreeing with somebody politically. We don't know the motivations yet, but obviously they didn't like Charlie. But there's no place for political violence in this country. This shooter is grotesque, is vile, is a disgusting person. And as Kelly said, as you said, we're going to wait and see more information as it comes out. But right now, I think a lot of people are in shock. A lot of people are angry, and a lot of people are sad at what just occurred.
Hogan, you can never get in the mind of somebody who would want to assassinate a political figure, a public figure, right? Likely they have some type of issues. What was it you think about Charlie that would compel someone to do this, in the sense that he, like I said to Kelly, he was not elected. He had never held political office, but he had a huge platform, millions of followers on social media. But he's not a household name. If you're not really into politics, you likely don't know who Charlie Kirk is. And maybe even if you're not into Republican politics, you have never heard of him. We know him because we work in this space. You work with him closely, as you had said. But what do you think it was about Charlie that would have prompted somebody to do something as vile and as violent as this?
Well, there is nothing about Charlie that would, should, or could push somebody to do something like this. That is unacceptable, regardless of your thoughts of his policies or his positions. There is no excuse, there is no reason, there is no rationale for this behavior in any form or fashion. I don't care what Charlie Kirk said, what he did, no excuse for this at all. And what is so frustrating is, as the tensions in this country continue to get ratcheted up, you brought this up at the beginning of the segment, we had a former president, a candidate, dodge a bullet in reality, was shot in the ear, and then another assassination attempt was foiled. And now we have someone like Charlie Kirk as well. You mentioned not elected, true, but someone who just wanted to go on these college campuses. And as they used to be places we could share ideas and debate ideas, it seems like they've become petri dishes or cesspools for silencing and censoring voices that differ with your opinions. And so there is no reason for anyone to want to attack Charlie Kirk. There is no reason that is legitimate by any stretch of the imagination. We don't know this person. We don't know the motivation, as you said. However, this is just flat out evil.
Yeah, flat out evil, and it speaks to sort of how large of a figure Charlie had become, if you will, Hogan, right? He had become someone who, when we just see that video in Utah, thousands of people had shown up. We've spoken to eyewitnesses who were excited to be there to hear him speak. He had crowds like this all over the country. And he really was sort of an upstart, correct? I mean, he started on his own, little by little, and then built this massive following.
Absolutely, and any one of his many events in a given year were can't miss for so many youth across this country who are looking to get into politics, who are interested in conservative causes or ideology, wanting to learn more. They set a new bar, a new high for entertainment too, not just someone getting up behind a podium and giving a speech, but so much of this was showmanship as well, bringing in the youth vote. He had a massive impact on the election in 2020, obviously won in 2024 as well, doing some incredible work in many key battleground states, just from a mechanical standpoint, getting out the vote, doing the non-sexy parts of politics, the roll up your sleeves, door knocking, engaging with voters. This is what he understood. Again, at such a young age, that's how you get involved, and that's how you effectuate change. He didn't even hint at violence. He didn't hint at anything other than honest, open debate and conversation. That's why this is so tragic, and that's why this is so hurtful to so many. I will just say this, and I would be remiss if I didn't. Charlie was a devout Christian. He believed in the risen Lord, and right now the people out there who are suffering and who are sad for him understand where he is and what he is doing. He is embraced by his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and that for many of us is going to be one of the things that gives us some sense of comfort today.
Yeah, we've seen that in a lot of the posts from both the defense secretary and the vice president as well. Hogan, I do want to ask you, talk to me about the relationship he built with the Trump family and with the president. I know he worked with Don Jr. As an assistant and helped him out politically, and then he also worked closely with the president. The president has acknowledged this, and Kelly acknowledged this as well. I mean, it speaks to his relationship with the president and also what he had built, that the president of the United States, the leader of the free world, announced his death to the public.
Well, the president and Charlie were very close, in large part because the president is about getting results. He is about seeing the fruits of labor actually coming to work and getting things done. And Charlie provided that. He would always ask Charlie about the pulse of the young people in this country. What are you hearing? What are you seeing on the road? And what makes Charlie so valuable to the MAGA movement, to conservatism, to the Trump family, to the Trump organization, the Trump administration and orbit, is that he would tell them where he thought that they were missing it, where there are some problems, where to focus on, shifts in strategy, if you will. He knew those things as it related to his area of expertise. And so when you're running campaigns and you're looking to try and mobilize and motivate and create movements out there across the country in different segments, Charlie had the pulse of so many youth across this country, people who were yet to be able to vote for
TikTok.
Who was asking?
Mike Yetner in the side chat. He's asking.
Oh, Mike, you go ahead. You could have talked, brother. You all you have to do is unmute yourself.
Well, yeah, I don't want to rudely interrupt from.
No, you're fine.
Stuff,
you're fine. You're fine.
When I heard about the disgusting person over there on TikTok, what he was saying on your video call right there, I went over there and was taking a look at quite a few of disgusting people chatting in there, and I was just basically asking if you want me to go ahead and go over there and mod and basically boot the people over there.
Yeah, please do. If you show up, just type a comment so I can mod you right away, and for sure, just boot out whoever. Thanks, brother.
Okay. You're welcome.
From an age standpoint, people who are just because we're out giving speeches all the time, we're out interacting with voters all the time. I was just talking to someone on the floor who I had gone on the Trump bus tour with to Pennsylvania and Wisconsin and Ohio and
Christian
Florida.
Prince is on right now.
And then I look again, I said in the chest, so it was in the neck. You remember? When I look at the video, even it's very short, I said,
generation, infrequent, and yet when it happens, it is obvious.
Their safety and security, and these things are being reported now, but they're also, so many are not reported, the threats that these people receive. Again, no place for it. I would argue it's disgusting. It's completely against our Judeo-Christian founding, our civil society, our very American way of life. But at the same time, it's a reality at this point, and I hate that it is. So I think people out there are going to be quite concerned and maybe even reticent to get out on the political stage when it's meant for open, honest debate.
Brother Mike, I see you on TikTok. Give me a second because it's not letting me make you a mod on TikTok Live Studio. I'm going to figure it out.
And not violence, but we've seen so much.
Guys, I'm gonna call it for the night.
All right,
Crafted. You have a good stream, brother.
Okay, all right. Thank you, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Years, including today, of course, and it's just got to stop.
Yeah.
It just has to stop.
Yeah, regardless of your political views, it is un-American. It has gotten too violent, and now someone has died. Hogan, we thank you for sharing your thoughts. I am so sorry for the loss of your friend. I do want to bring in our senior Washington correspondent, Hallie Jackson. Hallie, we cover politics day in, day out. Who's up, who's down. Something like this, it's just so terrible. Someone who is out there, who is passionate about one side, and shot while just out there trying to practice freedom of speech, what we have in this country.
It is, I think, shocking and stunning, Tom, to so many people across the political spectrum. And it comes as we have seen an uptick and a growing concern about political violence in this country. If you look at simply what has happened just this summer alone, I know you've talked about the assassination attempts, obviously, against current President Trump, of course, back when he was a former president running for office. But you look at just this summer, you had the CDC shooting, of course, that happened just last month. You had in June a Republican congressman, a former Trump staffer, in fact, says he was run off the road by somebody who threatened to kill him. You have, of course, the death of that Minnesota state lawmaker and her husband, along with the shooting of another lawmaker and
okay,
his
brother
wife.
Mike, you're a mod now on
April,
TikTok.
You had Governor Josh Shapiro and his family sleeping inside their home when it was set on fire at the governor's mansion in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. That is just the last couple of months, Tom, and you are seeing now from Republicans, from Democrats, a condemnation of political violence that defies the political spectrum here. And you are also seeing, I think, from so many people, Hogan spoke about this, how close Charlie Kirk was, how influential he was, not just as a so-called influencer or a conservative activist, but as a friend, as a confidant to so many people who have now, in this second Trump term, attained the highest levels of power in this country. Despite his age, just 31 years old, he had gotten close to so many, including the president's son. He was instrumental, of course, in being vocal in support of now Vice President J.D. Vance. And you are seeing this stunned reaction, Tom, across Democrats, across conservatives, to the death of Charlie Kirk, as we have learned tonight, from President Trump himself, Tom.
Yeah. Hallie Jackson, stand by for us. Joining us on the phone now is Taylor Dufour and Haley Birmingham. The married couple were at the event about 30 feet away from where Kirk was speaking. I know you guys join us now by phone here. I'm sorry that you guys had to witness that. Tell us what you remember seeing when you heard that first gunshot.
Hi, thank you.
I'm sorry, guys. Are you there? Taylor and Haley?
Yeah, we're here. Yeah, we're here. Sorry.
Again, I don't know if you were able to hear me. Tell us what you remember seeing. Did you hear the gunshot?
Yeah, we did. We heard the gunshot and people just started dropping, and so my wife, my biggest concern was getting her down and laying on top of her. I looked over and saw him as he was falling out of his chair, and I saw the blood coming out of his neck. And it was just, people panicking, kind of chaos. That everybody worked together. Everybody kind of came together and was, what can we do to help everybody and get everyone safe?
Taylor, I don't know if you heard, but the president announced that Charlie Kirk has passed away. Knowing that you went there to see this event and then kind of witnessing that, what are your thoughts tonight?
Well, it's just sad. Honestly, it makes me very angry. I do get very angry about it, that somebody could have this much hate inside them as to want to take somebody out of this world. And, it's just sad as well because our world is so divided at the moment. And I feel like people just need to get along. And, he was trying to help. He was incredible. Charlie's freaking amazing. Our kids love him. Everyone around here loves him, The crowd that was there, everybody was so happy and fun and having such a good time. And it's the kind of people that he drew. And for it to turn into what it did is just sad.
Haley, what do you remember seeing or hearing when you were there with your husband?
I just remember the pop and everyone looking around questioning the same question, and I was questioning if that could have been a real gun. Kind of sounded like a louder version of a pop gun. And then there was like a more military stature looking man in front of us, and he was pushing people down saying, everyone get down, that's a gunshot. And then the next thing you know is you're just trying to look for your exits, and he's saying to stay down, but do you run? Do you stay down? Do you crawl? You don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I'm sorry you guys had to go through that today when you just went to go, hear somebody speak. When the gunshot rang out, they're saying it was from 200 yards away, which is pretty far away, in a different building. For people that aren't familiar from where this happened, the place where they're saying the shot came from, is that somebody where they could have sort of been hidden, maybe incognito, or just sort of covered and then gotten a shot off? Because I asked you this because they're still looking for the suspect. Initially, they thought they had a suspect, but now they're still looking for a suspect.
So there's like a causeway, like a walkway from building to building, and there was a lot of people up top. And that would be where somebody probably could have been. It sounded in that area. And I don't see how anyone in the crowd, everyone was shoulder to shoulder. I don't see how anyone would get away in a group like that if it was in the crowd. So to me, it sounded about 60 feet away. I instantly looked to where I thought it was, and it was, I would say, about 60 feet in about the more top area, but middle of the crowd. And I didn't think it came from up top, but with knowing that he hasn't been caught yet, he had to have been hiding.
We're living in some sort of very violent times, whether it be mass shootings or these political assassinations and assassination attempts. Did you guys know what you were witnessing when it happened, or was it all just so strange?
Yeah, I think we knew instantly because everyone around us kind of stopped, looked at each other.
Yeah, for everybody on TikTok, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting you guys can't see the screen, but TikTok, they immediately restrict live stream when you share your screen and show anything that's like on YouTube or whatever. Yeah, but Charlie Kirk has been pronounced dead. He was shot in the neck. It looked like the left side of his neck. The wound was catastrophic. Immediately, you could tell that it was not good, but there was still hope. And at this point, the only thing we can do is pray for his family. You know, he's gone far too soon. You know, he was a lot younger than myself. He was almost a full decade younger than me. And yeah, he's gone.
If it was real and then dropped to the ground.
Lillian Taylor, we thank you for talking to us. And again, I'm sorry you had to witness that today. I want to
and it
bring
looks
in our
like they
national
didn't
law
catch the
enforcement
person.
Intelligence correspondent Tom Winter. Tom,
Mark,
rightly
I'm
so.
going to head out.
All right.
I would like to say one more thing because there was something mentioned. I believe his friend that was there.
Yeah.
About rage.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that there is a time and a place for anger.
Right.
And we should be angry that this actually. But I think we got to be careful what we mean by anger and what we're talking about, because and it's hard to remember this, but remember that we before we're saved, we stand guilty before God, just like whoever it was that killed Charlie Kirk.
Right.
And so while we should be angry that such an atrocity happened, we should also remember that we want this person to repent.
Right.
Before it's too late. I understand there's not going to be any more Muslim debates today, so
right.
We'll see what happens Friday, because I know I was waiting to have one. I was next in line today, but unfortunately we had to.
Yeah, Friday. I got something going on at a work related thing Friday. So I will be live, but probably maybe like 45 minutes to an hour later than usual. So just so you guys know.
All right. I'm getting out then.
All right, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Have a good one. God bless.
Before, and our audience absolutely adores you, Father. Thank you for
the
being
Megyn Kelly show.
Back, a Catholic priest based in Minneapolis or Minnesota, in Bozeman, right? Yeah. Thank you for being here so much. Please help us understand. Like I don't know how to process it.
Yeah. No. I know that you and Charlie have spent time together, and my first thought when they just asked if I could be here. I just was like, I can't imagine. I imagine that Megyn is going through it right now. And so, I mean, I'm so many people, so many of us. But I know that particularly, yeah, you have been in the trenches with him.
We have a guest in here. What's up, man?
Hey, I just see all these people on TikTok spreading all this stuff about Charlie Kirk and like celebrating that he was spewed at a event where he was trying to talk to college students.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that super disgusting now that he is confirmed to be deceased.
Right.
But I also feel like all these like Democrats, when Kamala was running for president and she was talking about, I'm going to limit or like get rid of guns, get them off the street. And they were all for that. But as soon as it comes to using them, they're all for it. Like when Joe Biden when he was president, when was there an attempt to take his life one time?
Right.
I feel like this is going to go nowhere but back to where our history is and civil, like a war for Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah. Well, you know what, and in the first Civil War, it was kind of like that too. It was mainly about slavery, but it was a pot that was boiling for several years before the Civil War kicked off, right? And it was very similar to what we have now as liberals versus conservatives, and you know, honestly, to your comment about when Joe Biden was in office. You know, the thing about it is, at the end of the day, regardless of whether or not you agree with who gets voted into office, they are in office, right? They are the leader that you are to respect because the Bible makes it very clear. And as a Christian man, whether or not I agree with who is in office, you know, you are still the president. And if God forbid, and I'm glad it didn't, if God forbid somebody had tried, you know, to take it to harm Joe Biden, I would have been just as outraged as I was when somebody tried to harm Donald Trump, because, you know, I think it's the weakest I think it's the weakest thing someone can do. The most cowardly thing someone can do is to take someone's life because you disagree with them. And what did you get out of that, right? You're taking out a person. You're not taking out the ideals. The ideals are not going anywhere. You literally just martyred Charlie Kirk. If this, let's just say, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if this was a progressive. It could have been just somebody with mental illness. We don't know. Only time will tell. From what I understand, they've not been caught anyway. What I can tell you, though, is that if Charlie Kirk was assassinated because of his ideals, you just created 1,000 more. You created people who ordinarily would not have said anything about their ideals ever, who will now start their own YouTube channels, will now start their own Turning Points USA, will now start... This is exactly the way it ends up happening. And you're 100% right, James. It is disgusting when people say the things that they say, especially when those people are the ones who are constantly pointing their finger at people and standing on their soapboxes, accusing the other side of being hateful and being bigoted. But look at all of the attacks that we've had in recent years, right? Attacks on Christian schools, on Catholic schools, taking out children, right? Trying to take out Trump. It's always centered around Christians and or conservatives being attacked. And it's crazy because that's the side that's always accused of being bigoted and of being hateful, right? And of Bible thumping but then again, look, Charlie Kirk is dead, and his two very young children who won't even remember him because that's how young they are without a father, and his wife is without a husband, and I know that his legacy will continue. But now, this poor woman has to explain, and I don't even know I don't even know how old his kids are. She has to try to find a way to explain to look at how little the kids are. These are his children. So now this poor woman has to try to figure out a way to explain to these two kids that their dad is no longer going to be able to tuck them in at night or read them stories or, you know what I mean? That's
yeah. And it's sad just because you don't agree with what he's saying.
Right.
That you have to feel the need to take a man's life that has a wife, children, just because you do not agree with what he has to say.
Right. Yep. Yeah. I listen, and I alluded to this earlier in the stream. I don't care how much I disagree. I've never once ever thought that someone that I disagree with politically that I wanted to end their life. That's never crossed my mind. I don't think that crosses the mind of a normal human being. But here we are. And now you have literally two literal babies. How is she supposed to explain to these two, especially this one, that their dad is now dead because somebody felt like it? Hi, Mommy.
Did you see the video of him getting shot?
Yeah. So,
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Certain things about this, from the Christian perspective, no violence at all. That's just unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
When we decide that you just want to silence the opposition, something is wrong with that.
Right.
And also at the same time, we live in the age of information and education.
Mm-hmm.
What are the odds that the person who did this doesn't realize that they've pretty much kind of further advanced his cause?
Yes.
Or what it is that he has to say is going to, I don't want to say infamy, but it would be something that is long lasting. It has more staying power now.
Yeah.
And if you now, some people are looking at the video. A lot of the stuff got taken down or whatever.
Yeah.
But the moment in which he was shot, there was an exchange between him and a person who was posing a question.
Mm-hmm.
And the question that was being posed had something to do with gun control.
Right.
And the person asked him how many mass shootings had taken place this year thus far. And Charlie Kirk's response was including or not including gang violence.
Right. Yep.
And that's where the shot rang out.
Yep.
So why is it that at that particular moment, that's when the person fired?
Yep.
How deep were they into, the presentation for the day?
Right.
Because was that like the first question? We don't know.
Right.
But what we do know for certain is that there's no way. Well, let me not say no way, but it's a slim chance that a person is going to do that and not realize that they've pretty much martyred him,
right,
for the conservative cause.
Yep.
And I don't want to feed into anything sensationalized or conspiratorial at this point, but I think it's more than they just disagreed with what he had to say, because there are many people who say things that people disagree with. Like there's the other gentleman, I forgot his name, but he's on campuses and he's debating Jesus Christ with the students.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. And there's several of them. So why this person? Is it because he had become like the most popular or most famous? Or?
There's really no way to know. I mean, you could only pray that eventually you will find out. I can tell you that I know for sure that this I don't want to sound like, forgive my language, guys, but I don't want to sound like a prick, right? What it comes down to is that there have been people talking about ending Charlie Kirk's life for years, especially in the progressive movement, right? The very same type of people that speak about doing the same kind of thing to Donald Trump and Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh, right? And what's crazy about it is, and I don't want to jinx anything, guys, because there's two statements I want to make, right? Number one, for anybody who is, I know that I am a nobody. Everything that I do is for the glory of God. Give me a second. To anybody that is within the reach of the sound of my voice, especially conservatives, Christians, whatever, I understand that we are all outraged. That we are all outraged by what is going on, and I know that there are countless people on the left who are just as outraged as we are. I'm not painting everybody with the same brush. I'm not going to do that. I hate when people do it to us. I'm not going to do it to you guys. I will tell you guys that for those who share the ideals, like, the word is the way, and myself, who Christians by our very nature are considered conservative anyway, because we obviously don't agree with pretty much anything in the progressive movement. Do not, and I repeat, do not even think about retaliation. I'm begging and pleading with everyone out there. Allow the justice system in the state of Utah and the federal government to do their jobs. Do not feel like retaliating or reciprocating is going to solve the issue, right? Revenge is just as much a satisfaction of the flesh as fornication, as narcotics. Do not satisfy your flesh, ladies and gentlemen. Do not make yourself content, because that's all you're going to do, right? And I promise and guarantee that, especially in the climate that we're in, that whoever is responsible for Charlie Kirk's death, it is going to get whitewashed. It is going to get, they're gonna do as much as they can to pretend like there was all types of mitigation for what this individual did. If you, as a conservative and or a Christian, or even my Muslim brothers and sisters out there, decide that It's a good idea to try to retaliate. I'm telling you right now, they're going to give you all of the justice that a conservative Christian will not get in this society. Do not retaliate. Do not go after anybody that you think is progressive. Do not leave them alone. Leave them alone. That's it, and that's all. Again, I know I'm a very small creator. I am a nobody in the grand scheme. I am but a wisp in the wind, right? Just like the Bible says. My life is finite. But I will tell you guys right now, do not repay evil with evil. Do not take vengeance into your own hands, because vengeance belongs to the Lord. Yes, it is a travesty. Yes, there is a new widow and 2 fatherless children now, which is ironic, because that is something that Kirk used to expose on a regular basis, was about how absentee fathers in Hispanic and Black homes contributed to so much more crimes in certain societies. And he used to catch a lot of crap for that. You know why? Because it's true. I grew up in Hispanic communities, right? With black men and women will tell you the same thing. Children are more likely to act out in a home where there is no father. That's just the truth. And Charlie Kirk, I'm sure his life is now gone, because he used to tell those truths among many others that people did not want to hear. If you decide that you want to do something, get on your hands and knees and pray. Thank Jesus Christ for the salvation that he gave you that you don't deserve, because none of us do. And pray that he washes the rage out of you, and that you allow the only one to have vengeance who deserves to have it, which is Yahweh. I'm telling you guys right now, it is not worth doing anything and harming anyone. This stuff has to stop. And that's one thing that I really do appreciate about, especially what my channel has been geared towards more than anything, is the fact that we right now, as when we talk about these supposed Christian versus Muslim debates, you know, you look at any number of videos where people do get heated, they get whatever, but you know, you don't see people beating on each other or trying to take each other's lives, right? At least here in the Western world, where we can have these conversations, right? And that's one thing I appreciate about it, is that Muslims, I'm pretty sure, know that we don't want to hurt them. And for the most part, I don't feel like Muslims want to hurt us. They can say whatever they want. They can try to be as insulting as they want. But how many videos do you guys see, from whether it be God Logic or Sam Shimon, whatever, where we're all walking in the same crowds, we're all having, disagreements, and everybody walks away fine, right? We don't got to worry about hurting each other. But, that I know we're discussing kind of apples and oranges here, Christianity and Islam versus, conservatives versus progressives, whatever. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to ideals. And I just don't understand it. This is a very sad day.
Yeah, that's terrible. I don't know. Whew. Man, that's rough.
Yep.
That's tough.
Yeah.
It's not a moment to celebrate something like, if you're doing that, well, that really speaks to your heart.
Right.
I don't know if some people are not even really genuine or sincere with their celebratory comments.
Right.
But even just to, use that as an opportunity to troll,
mm-hmm.
or to make jokes and things like that shows a lack of, compassion and maturity even.
Yeah. No.
So hopefully the person will be brought to justice and, of course, repent, like the young Christian said.
Yeah.
And I genuinely hope that this is not like, like an ember that sparks something larger.
Yeah.
Perhaps maybe we may finally get the opportunity to really address, issues with like gun control and things like that, because either way you slice it, inaction is not the appropriate action at this point, in my opinion.
Right.
So let that commence with civil discussion,
right?
With civil debates, and let us walk away with just a little bit more semblance of what it is to be considerate of people who disagree with you.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we have a little bit more maturity and spirit.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and that's absolutely. And and there's and like the word said, man, there's any number of discussions to be had, considering what like I said, my brother just said over here about gun control or whatever. At the end of the day, all that stuff comes too late, unfortunately, for the Kirk family. Like and I agree. There's going to be any number of people that are celebrating right now. If your heart is that demonic, then I feel bad for you, man. Because here's the thing: at the end, God sees everything, right? And you got to remember, if you are on the left and you are celebrating something like this, you got to really ask yourself, if this was somebody that you cared about and this was happening to them, would you be celebrating it? And even worse, how would you feel seeing people celebrating the death of one of your loved ones, right? You wouldn't like it. But at the end of the day, you guys think that you're untouchable. People like you guys who are celebrating what happened to Charlie Kirk, you think you're untouchable. You think that you're funny. You think that you're, none of this stuff like this can ever happen to you. And I pray to God that you're right, because unfortunately, I know that you're not. You think that, even if karma doesn't hit you now, it will hit you later, man. God sees everything. And that's just, you have to be very careful at the way that you act, because look at just the few clowns that called in on TikTok right now, and I guess that's my fault for allowing people to have a voice and trying to give people the benefit of the doubt. But, I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad that people are seeing the way that people act in situations like this. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, no matter what, and what's funny too is that I heard somebody talking about that the other day, because people are upset about Trump deploying the National Guard to Chicago and this and that, and about all the gun violence and all the people who lose their lives on literally a weekly basis. And what's crazy about Chicago is that they are the city in the state that have the most gun law, right? Chicago has some of the strictest gun laws in the strictest gun law state. And it seems like where these people have the most gun laws are where this stuff happens the most. I don't understand. I don't get it. Obviously, that's not the case here, because Charlie was in Utah, right? So this stuff can happen anywhere. But I don't think, to be honest with you, Word, and I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, I don't even think this is about gun control. I think this is about the condition of the human heart. Because no matter what, people are going to do what they're going to do. It doesn't matter how many gun laws are in place. They're going to get it. Look, in the United Kingdom, they don't have the Second Amendment. And you know what's the number one cause of homicides? Stabbings.
Stabbings, yeah.
Yeah. So either way, people are going to find a way to do what they do. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Honestly, in my opinion, this isn't even about firearms. This is about the condition of the human heart. And thank you for subscribing, extremely lowest ranking Muslim. But yeah, man, I don't get it. I don't get it, and I don't understand what people think that they would get out of this stuff. But yeah, unfortunately, guys, Charlie Kirk passed away at the age of 31, I want to say.
31. He was like a month shy of his 32nd birthday.
Mm-hmm. Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk, born 1993. Yeah, man. That means that he hadn't even hit his 32nd birthday. It hadn't come up yet.
We have rappers that were popping back then, before he was even born. And they're still in it now. Yeah. That's crazy.
Eazy-E.
That's crazy.
Tupac. Yeah. Dr. Dre.
Oh,
USA or Charlie Kirk adjacent content. They have no idea what he's done for the Trump movement, for the Make America Great Again movement, for the Republican National Committee, for GOP candidates up and down the ballot across the country, and the influence he had.
He should have just survived, but he didn't because he's bad. Elbozo.
Yeah. All right.
Together.
Yeah, I already booted him.
Trump government being.
So, are you gonna bring up for Friday what you intended to cover today?
I don't know. I probably will, just because I only got through two guys, and then I immediately, as soon as proven that they were liars, they showed that they didn't even want to have like true, genuine conversation. They just wanted to continue to talk over me, no matter what, despite the fact that they were given a respect that they refused to give. So I may. You're in the Discord, right?
I should be. If I'm not, let me check right now.
Yeah.
Hold up. Where's the link for that?
It's crossunit.net/Discord.
Because the thing is, I was preparing for that one. I actually was starting a PowerPoint presentation.
Oh, okay. Well, then we can repeat it. Yeah, I have no problem with that. We'll just keep the same thing.
Yeah. Because I saw it was Christianity versus Islam.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I was ready to cook with that one.
Yeah, let's go.
We got
Thank you,
I've got a nice PowerPoint to bring up, and I know everybody like Young Christian, the brother from South Africa. I forget the name is escaping me right now.
Grafted.
Yeah, Grafted.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know you all are gonna like this. I mean, it's your stream. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to hijack it.
No, I don't feel hijacked at all. What you guys are doing is actually what my intention was, which was to eventually have other apologists come through, even if you don't necessarily want to debate, but if you have things to contribute before and after conversation. I hate being a talking head. You know what I mean? It's funny because when I first started this, the analytics were much higher. And they're a lot lower now for whatever reason. I trust God, so I don't care. But I would assume that a lot of it had to do with the fact that it's just me, and people get tired of hearing the same person talking and talking and talking. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you guys are more than welcome, and I never feel hijacked. If I start a show and I only do the intro prayer and you guys are talking because you guys say when you look at like God Logic and then they all take turns talking to these people, and it makes it a lot easier on the host. You know what I mean? Hang on one second. Caller number 7, are you there? Can you hear me? Caller number 7, you're on stage. Hola. What's going on? Hello?
No.
Okay, yeah, I don't know who that is. It doesn't sound like he's serious anyway. Yeah, we can do that. Just as a matter of fact, what I would have you do is send me a copy of your PowerPoint.
Right. That's what I want to do. So I'll probably do that tomorrow evening, so
okay.
I have it ready for Friday.
Yeah, I'm sending it to you here. Go ahead and send it there. That way, because you could share it on screen, but the way that it looks, it would still be too small for them to see. Right. So yeah, I would rather, if you want, send it to me, and then I can just next slide for you every time you go. You know what I mean? And just show it on the big screen so that people could see it, if that's fine with you.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's sounds good, brother. Yeah, we will do it. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and end it, guys, on an extremely sad note. Thank you to Word is the Way. Thank you to Young Christian. Thank you to Grafted for everybody who came in. Thank you to the Muslims who joined, even though we obviously didn't see eye to eye. After stuff like this,
literally trace.
It puts a lot of things into perspective. Not to say that I don't feel that having these conversations is important, but there's there's a reason why I didn't continue to look for debate after that. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, I'm not. That's the last thing I want to do. And by Friday we'll see.
All right.
Yeah. So.
God bless, bro.
God bless, brother.
Enjoy your time with your family. Stay safe.
You too, man. God bless. Be safe out there.
All right. Take care.
Later, man. Yeah, guys. Very sad day. Very sorry that it ended up this way. Yeah, I started off, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, being pretty annoyed at the lies. When it comes down to it, you have two guys standing next to each other. One Christian, one Muslim, and I would never ever in a million years decide that I wanted to hurt somebody, and that's not something that to me is something that passes through the mind of a normal human being. My cousin just DM'd me on TikTok and she was like, I'm really sorry I got off your stream. I couldn't watch that because I was involved in a school shooting before, and I believe me, I completely understand. I get it and I understand, and in the beginning of the stream, we were talking about how people are only going to see things one way, depending, right? You have all the Christians on my video who are, talking about how I absolutely dog walked a Muslim in a debate. And then you have all the people on his channel with my video that he basically just reposted, saying the opposite, right? And then you have stuff like this, and it's like, what's really important, right? Is telling the truth of Jesus Christ important? Absolutely. But when you witness a loss of life like that, especially when there's babies involved that now don't have their daddy anymore, that's a tough one to deal with, man. But listen, you guys be safe, be good, be blessed. Please pray for the family of Charlie Kirk, for everybody at Turning Point USA. Pray for our society, and you know what, guys, also pray for all those people who are in the chat, talking their normal nonsense, showing the world that their souls are just as rotten as their mentality, because Jesus Christ died for them too. And as much as we feel like they don't deserve it, it doesn't matter what we feel. What matters is what Jesus Christ commanded us to do, right? To all my Muslim brothers and sisters, to all my progressive brothers and sisters, at what point do we start listening to each other when it comes to the things that matter, right? When are we going to stop keeping Jesus Christ out of our society? This stuff is crazy, man. As always, man, be safe, be good, be blessed. I'll see you guys when I see you. Remember that Jesus is King and the only way to heaven. Have a good one.